Test audio. There it is.
There, we got it.
I got it. I'm a goddamn genius.
Got it. The input was off. Can everybody hear us now?
Can you hear us now, ladies and gentlemen?
All right, we're going to get off here. All right, bye.
All right. If you're just tuning in, number one, I figured that out because I'm the smartest man alive. You're welcome, America. Let's redo that because I want to keep our momentum going.
Yes.
Welcome to Pro Wrestling Throwdown for the week of July 17th, 2022. I'm Caleb Black. This is Luke the Big Dog Williams. That's our in-studio producer, the Mighty Max Fury. And as you're well aware, Big Bad John, our in-studio editor, is not here to do the hard work for us. He does. And this is what happens.
That goes to show you that the video editor and the audio editor is a very integral part of every fucking broadcast.
Without him, we could not do this job. I reiterate, without Big Bad John, we are idiots. That being said, Luke, how was your Sunday, sir?
It's better now. It's totally better now. You can hear me.
That's right. Max, how was your Sunday?
I'm doing good. I'm ready to talk some wrestling. Dude.
Yes, sir. Well, enough pomp and circumstance. We made the people wait, guys, as always.
Well, hold on. While we're saying thank you for being patient and waiting for us.
Yes, thank you so much again for being patient during our hiatus. We are back. We've been gone for 3 weeks. A couple of quick notes real quick to throw out there. We are on a delay. Please remember that. Please keep that in mind. We may be a tick or two behind you guys when it comes to comments and such, but we'll get to you when we get to you. Number two, we missed a historic event here on the channel over the last 3 weeks. It was Luke, the Big Dog Williams, a birthday.
It's my birthday.
That's right. How old are you, Luke?
Old enough to know better, too young to care.
Luke Gallows is younger than you. How's that make you feel, Luke?
Makes you feel old.
Happy birthday, brother.
Thanks,
We
sir.
celebrated his birthday privately and independently. We had a great time that we don't remember.
Very much of now.
Which is just fine with us. So, all of that aside, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about what the people tuned in for. Let's talk about some wrestling. Now, the main event of today's program is going to be a new segment that was actually an old segment that we used to do on the old format that we're going to be bringing back. Luke is going to headline this week. I'm going to headline next week. Max is going to headline the week after that, unless Max and I decide to trade places, which we'll figure out next week. This week it's Luke. That's all you need to know. We are going to talk about the current Vince McMahon situation, but that's going to be after we cover everything else because that's going to be a, lengthy segment, and we don't want to bog the entire show down with it. Because there's going to be some heavy stuff. There's going to be some conversational stuff. So let's get right into the good stuff.
Let's do it.
Some of the stuff we done missed. It's time to talk about the points, baby. Time to talk about the points.
You going to talk about the points?
Oh, we're going to talk about the points, baby.
Here we go.
All right, we're going to do a quick recap. While we were away, we had 2 pay-per-views. We had the Forbidden Door, and we had Money in the Bank.
Yes, don't drink.
I'm just going to run through our picks for both events all together. Tell you who won, tell you who lost, and then we're going to do the point recap at the end. It's going to save us the most time with this particular recap.
Yes.
So if you're all strapped in, pay attention, because I'm going to go through it quick. From the Forbidden Door, which was like 3 weeks ago now, Jon Moxley did win the AEW Interim World Championship. We all chose Jon Moxley. Jay White retained the IWGP World title in the 4-way. I picked Jay White. Pac won the All-Atlantic title. We all lost. Will Ospreay kept the U.S. title. Luke and I chose him over Orange Cassidy. FTR picked up the win with the IWGP Tag titles. We all picked FTR. We all picked Thunder Rosa to retain, and she did. We all picked Team Jericho to win, and they did. And Big Bad John was the only person who chose the Dudes with Attitudes.
Yes.
And he got that victory. Then we had the mystery opponent that wrestled Zack Sabre Jr. Everybody picked the mystery opponent, but Luke and I put an extra point on the line. He chose Claudio. I chose Gargano. He took the win on that. Flopping over to Money in the Bank. Like I said, guys, I know we're going through it quick, but we got to get to the meat.
We got a lot of news.
Yes, we do. All right. That's the wrong pay-per-view. Here we go.
Fuck Bret Hart. Sean
fuck
James.
Bret Hart.
Who is in the chat.
Oh, welcome, Sean. Bianca retained the Raw Women's Championship?
Yes.
Yeah, Raw Women's Championship against Carmella. In the Money in the Bank ladder match, None of us won, except for Max because he used his save.
Correct.
That's right.
I won the women's by picking Liv Morgan. I should have predicted that she was going to cash in that night. That's okay. Ronda won. We all picked Ronda. The Usos won. We all picked Uso. And we all picked Theory to retain the U.S. title, but he lost it to Lashley.
But of course, knowing what we know now, we know why.
Yeah.
So if we factor in all of the points all together, this is our current point standing. When we left you guys 3 weeks ago, I had 25, Luke had 22, and Max had 24. Luke is now trailing at the bottom with 32. Max is in second place with 33. I actually wrote those in the wrong place, but I know what I meant. I'm not giving you an extra point. And yours truly is still in the lead at 36 points.
However,
he cheated. He cheated.
I consulted my gypsy. And the Duke. The Duke is in the house. Hello, the Duke. Hello, Sean. Love you guys. Love you too. So that's where we're at. Halfway through the year, we're almost to SummerSlam.
still a lot of game to be played.
A lot of game to be played, but really it's a lot of game for you to lose because this is my season. I'm causing it like the season.
We'll see.
I'm just saying.
I'm two-time defending champion,
I mean, that's okay. Every mountain has to fall sometime, buddy.
You trying to say you want to climb my mountain? Is that what you're saying?
Bold of you to assume I already have it. Don't drink, don't smoke.
Also, we're going to announce the winner of the contest for the T-shirt.
We'll do that when we get to the fun
Yes,
stuff.
yeah. Well, that'll be a little later, but stay tuned.
So, as you know, we're setting up for SummerSlam. SummerSlam's going to be the next one on the docket. Yes, we are aware that Ring of Honor is doing a pay-per-view. Ring of Honor is not in this year's standings. Again, it's only WWE pay-per-views and only AEW. We could do a gentleman's point on it when it gets time. If we decide to, we'll let you know. So, let's get into our other big recap. I don't know why I stopped talking there for a second. From our time away, which was AFU Hardcore.
Yes, and for those of you who didn't check out the AFU Choke Point video we posted during the day of the show, please go back, check it out. It's got a lot of interesting things. We had two guests. We had Bull Bronson, and we had Blood Money Brian Richards on the show. Both, of course, pitching their respective matches and their ideas on several other superstars in AFU.
Yep. So let's get right into it. We had a number one contenders match for the AFU Hardcore Championship in our opener, which was Mikey versus the Generalissimo, the leader of the regime, Merc.
Yes.
Merc did pick up the win. So he is our new AFU Hardcore number one contender.
Number one contender.
Yeah, baby. Then we had another number one contenders ship match. This was for the Brass Knuckles Championship. Jacques Kennedy against Tyler Thorne, which was an absolute fucking banger.
Yes, it really was.
Both competitors brought it. They brought it hard, and Jacques Kennedy ended up picking up the win.
Yes, he did. They did. Apologize.
That's all right. You caught yourself.
Tyler Thorne continues to just absolutely grow and thrive in this business.
Better than the best.
Yes.
There have been
the
several,
second generation
several
sensation.
from fight that I've enjoyed watching grow.
And I'll
up
tell
in
you
the last
what,
few years.
Jacques Kennedy, they
Jacques Kennedy
definitely brought the fight, and they took.
They are one of them.
They took every bit and threw it right back, and they are our new Brass Knuckles champion, number one contender. Let's talk about what I would like to think was collectively our favorite match tonight.
Best match, bar none.
Blood Money Brian Richards against Ray Waddell. I'm going to get super personal with this story.
We all are.
I've known Brian longer than anybody here.
Correct.
I've known Brian since he was born. His family lived across the street from my family for pretty much my entire childhood. And Brian has told us often that he got into the wrestling business because of us.
Yes.
Us specifically. Because we all used to wrestle together. They would come and watch.
Used to watch us when he was little,
yeah.
Brian Richards, like I said on commentary, and I mean it wholeheartedly, made me an absolute believer that night.
Brian Richards wrestling up against... let's not count against his opponent. Ray Waddell is a fantastic...
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
In the words of Rob Leach, one tough customer.
He really is. And they put on a clinic.
Love you, Rob.
They really did. They put on a clinic.
Yep.
Ray Waddell threw everything but the kitchen sink, literally, at Brian Richards, and Brian Richards kept getting up. He bled buckets.
Cried real tears in that ring that night.
Brian Richards to me is the future of deathmatch wrestling.
If I'd had one of... This is the closest thing that I'll ever have to having a little brother in the professional wrestling business, because Brian has always been so close to my family, and he's always been so close to me.
That's because I'm older than you.
But that's true. But you know what I'm saying? I'm the baby in this organization. And Brian Richards, I am so fucking proud of you, buddy.
Yeah.
So proud.
I'm really looking...
We
yes.
are so proud
Collectively, of you. Brian, you really took the ball and you ran with it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's not to knock the other guys. We just have a special relationship with Brian.
And it meant a lot to us to watch.
And here's the deal.
Watching him grow up.
Brian Richards didn't get the W, but he got the W.
Yep. He didn't win. He didn't win the match, but he won the hearts.
Yes.
And that takes a lot more work than just the 3 count.
He won the battle, I think.
Also, I would like to state he got the first standing ovation in AFU hardcore history.
1,000%.
He really did.
You can tell the fans really felt it. The fans were really behind him. And you got to remember, Brian came into AFU as a comedy guy.
Yeah.
And chose himself on his own volition to flip the script and show people that he could go. And I'll be damned if there's anybody who doubts it. You can send them straight to my house. My address, you can probably find on a lot of different websites.
Or bathroom walls.
Or watch lists.
But before we get off that, do yourself a favor. Subscribe to IWTV.live.
Yep.
Go and watch Choke Point. See the match for yourself.
And not just that match, every match, but that's a match we're currently gushing about.
Yes.
But let's keep the ball rolling, as we are wont to do here on the show. The next match we had was Bull Bronson versus Cash Borden with $1,000 cash money on the line. Now, my pick for this match was Cash Borden. Everybody else chose Bull Bronson.
Well, Bull Bronson was sitting next to me when I took...
I'd like to say, just for the record, that's another one I got right.
Yes.
We didn't put a point on it. We should have.
Yeah.
We didn't even know. It ain't impressive. As I've said again, and I'll repeat it every time, I fought Cash Borden from here to Tupelo, Mississippi. And I've been in the ring with Bull, too. I've taken a lot of that. I took a lot of Bull's ass beatings.
Oh, yeah.
In the biblical sense. But no, Cash Borden and Bull tore the house down, and then Cash wins the $1,000 cash money. We also had, for the Brass Knuckles Championship, Stonewall and Anakin Murphy.
Yes.
And despite the odds, Anakin Murphy climbed the wall and is our new Brass Knuckles champion.
There was some...
Mr. Anakin, bring that wall down.
That's right.
There was some... During the live feed, there was some technical difficulties lost kind of at the beginning of the match. On IWTV, they have fixed that.
Yeah.
The match is presented in its entirety. Anakin Murphy literally took every single thing
and the kitchen sink
that Stonewall could throw at him, and still, at the end of the day, is your new AFU Hardcore
Championship. Which is kind of interesting if you look at our championship standings, considering Jacques and Anakin have literally been in each other's throats since AFU's inception. Yeah. Former tag partners. Jacques returns after his their leg injury against Anakin to get their spot back that they felt like they were robbed of. Now we see in real time it's circling back. Anakin and Jacques again for the Brass Knuckles.
Tanya comments Anakin should have fallen off the wall.
Well, he didn't. And like Humpty Dumpty, he climbed that mother. Climbed it.
A fucking superhero.
Like, you remember Humpty Dumpty fell really hard, bro.
Yeah. Well, Anakin Murphy didn't.
Well, it took all the horses.
And all the King's Men.
And the King's Men. So.
We also had Satu Jin and Madman Pondo in a bloody deathmatch spectacle.
Where at the end of the match, both men in respect embraced and held each other's hands. However, I believe that it was Pondo that went over.
Yep.
Pondo
took the big dub.
Once again, Madman Pondo never disappoints. Satu Jin never disappoints.
Always a crowd pleaser.
Fantastic match.
Medieval Wolfie says, I'm so glad Anakin won that match. I got to touch the belt after the show. Anakin is awesome. Anakin is one of our fan favorites.
He really is. He's very over with the AFU hardcore crowd.
Not just that. The internet crowd's really they love him in St. Louis. He's got a lot of good influence. And the kid's picking up steam. I'll tell you what. In another match that frankly blew me away, Billy Starks and the Duke, John Wayne Murdoch.
I was so impressed with Billy Starks. John Wayne Murdoch, we all know who he is. Yeah. I was so impressed with Billy Starks.
Another match, we can also gush on the fact that Billy surprised us and took everything and kept coming.
Again, subscribe and watch that match.
Yeah, please do.
She shows the test of strength
Yeah.
that is... Yeah, I never would have thought to see out of it.
There's a point.
Toughness.
There's a point during that match where there's a superplex.
She's a rugged young woman.
There's a spot in that match with a superplex from the second rope that went awry in the middle of which she took the top rope across the middle of her back.
Yep.
And in such excruciating pain for the second half of that entire match.
Yep.
And fought through the pain, ended up winning with one of the oldest moves in professional wrestling.
Had John Wayne Murdoch up on her shoulders.
Yep.
Yes.
She fought a certified maniac.
She
and
really
came
did.
out on top. And that was just, again, so impressive.
Using a door over and over and over again. You really have to check out this match.
Those doors aren't as easy to swing as people might think.
No, swinging doors, never that easy.
Never.
You know how it is. They catch that wind and drag.
And a bar stool.
Now let's talk about our main event.
Yes.
Dalton Diamond issued an open challenge for the AFU Hardcore Championship.
And who answered that call?
The notorious Ty
Motherfucking Blade.
What a match. Ty Blade came out on top and finally dethroned the scumbag that he is. And let's talk about Nick Ferreira.
Yes.
Nick Ferreira, at the beginning of the match, made Dalton realize he knew what the take was, decided that at that moment he was going to show the guts that Dalton deservedly needed to be shown to, and handpicked Ty Blade to beat Dalton Diamond.
Now, let's play devil's advocate for a second.
I refuse.
Bull Bronson
Oh, yeah.
comes into the ring towards the end of the match.
Who was notable as Dalton's mercenary this entire
Throws
time.
the flaming punch into Dalton's face and then takes his money out of Dalton's pocket.
I, for one, am so glad that Dalton's reign of tyranny has ended in AFU Hardcore, and now we have a champion that we can be proud of in Ty Blade.
And having said that, I have to fanboy out for a minute here because I totally did. After the show, Ty let me take a picture with him, and he let me hold the belt. And I was like a little, I was a school kid, man.
Hold on a second here, Wolfie.
Fanboyed out.
I gotta take exception to that, Wolfie. You say Dalton got screwed, but if you look back at our Rolodex, Dalton stacked the deck in every single one of his matches. Agreeably, to keep the AFU Hardcore Championship, the most coveted prize in AFU Hardcore, no harm, no foul, the winner goes to spoils. But Dalton Diamond has been screwing people for 2 years. He finally got a taste of his own medicine, and now we got Ty Blade repping the brand, baby.
One of our biggest fans, not just on our podcast, but for AFU Hardcore, was, I'm sorry, help me here. Jacob Wells.
Yes.
Wrestling on Wheels with a Z.
On Facebook.
He had actually brought it up to us, and we brought it up to other people and started making a big talk about it. Dalton never beat anybody without Nick's help.
Yeah, it's true.
Also, here's the deal. If you retain Bull Bronson, pay the man.
Yep.
Yes.
You don't want to owe Bull Bronson money.
Otherwise, you're going to get a flaming fist to the chops.
That's right.
That's how it works.
Nightmare has a question that I'd like to answer.
Well, go ahead.
Ghost of Nightmare asks, I'm curious, when Dalton came over to the announce table, why did you get into his face? Well, there's a lot of history between Dalton Diamond and I. Dalton Diamond and I wrestled together all over the place. The same thing with Cash Borden. I've known Dalton since he broke into the business, and I've also got a bit of a reputation behind that desk as being a bit of a hothead. Dalton wanted to intimidate me, and I wasn't going to take it, because I don't take it. I don't care that I'm behind the table. Just because I don't get in that ring anymore doesn't mean that I still can't throw hands. Dalton decided to test me, so I answered the test. And it doesn't matter, because he wasn't there to fight me that night. He was there to fight Ty Blade, and he lost.
And it's a good thing he didn't, because he would have had all of pro wrestling coaches.
I'm not saying I'm not a fan of Dalton Diamond. All I'm saying is I was doing my job, and he came into my space. I didn't get in the ring and try to stop him from doing his job. Let the record show.
We don't go by his workplace and throw rocks at him while he's mowing. Just saying.
Well, that's because you can't get him over the prison fence.
think I broke him.
Sorry.
I think I broke him. Well, he's going to take 20 minutes. So while he's doing that, I would like to also take this time to mention WrestlingThrowdown.com is offline for the moment.
Currently down, yes.
To make your donations for the next month's contest for a Pro Wrestling Throwdown coffee mug.
Yes.
$1 an entry.
Gets you an entry into the bucket.
$10, 10 entries.
Yeah.
Go to streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown, where you can make your donation there. Be sure to leave your name, how much you donated. Let us know.
If for some reason the site isn't receptive and you want to make a donation, you can also contact us on the site. We're going to try to work out our PayPal and stuff like that. Again, all of those donations go into the contest, and every single cent gets put back into Pro Wrestling Throwdown. We're super happy to admit, not fully to disclose who donated what, but we did receive over $200 in donations this past month.
Yes.
All of that went into our webcam, into our new audio system, which we clearly don't know how to work without Big Bad John. Oh yeah, no, don't look great, Ghostly. But anyway, so we will be doing the drawing here today. Once we get through some of the news, we're going to save that for some of the fun stuff. While we're shilling, be sure to check us out over at Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown. Follow us on Twitter at Pro Wrestling TD. You can send us an email at ProWrestlingThrowdown@gmail.com, and you can also find us on TikTok at Pro Wrestling Throwdown 1. And when the website's back up at ProWrestlingThrowdown.com, you can also check out our
merch store. But until then, you can check out our merch store at streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown.
That's right. We're getting better at that.
We are.
Look at us. Look at us. A couple old podcasters over here.
Just age before beauty.
Before we steer away completely from AFQ, do we want to address the following?
Yes. Yes, we do. AFU Hardcore is going to take a break.
Just a brief sabbatical.
For a little bit. We are going to come back with Chapter 2.
Yep.
We don't have a specific date yet. Please watch the AFU Hardcore Facebook page. Watch the Pro Wrestling Throwdown Facebook page. And right here.
And we will keep everybody updated with every news update that we get from the higher office.
Yes. There's a lot of internal stuff that needs to be sorted out.
Well, thank you very much, Wolfie.
And stuff. We will be back in some capacity. You're just going to have to wait and find out.
Yep. All right, so.
iCarly vibes going on here.
Are we... Wait, does that make me Sam?
I'm Spencer. I don't know what the fuck all y'all talking about. I'm the oldest.
That's fair.
I get to be Spencer. Just like Van on Reba would be Van.
The oldest and the dumbest.
Hey, never right. Hey, I didn't say I was smart. I didn't say I was smart. I said I was old.
Well, you are that. All right, so now that we've covered the points from AFU, let's start into the news because we've got a lot to talk about, y'all.
Yeah, we do.
Let me open up my handy-dandy notebook here. We got a lot to talk about.
Also, before we get into the news, remember that after the news segment, after the Vince McMahon thing, we're going to draw for the winner of the T-shirt.
Yep.
And then after birthdays, we're going to get into my What If segment.
Now, this part's important. During the What If segment, we're not going to be fielding comments or questions because we're going to dedicate that time all to Luke's What If. Now, if you have questions you want to ask about the What If that he can elaborate on, leave them in the box. And then when we're done with that, we'll take all the questions, comments, everything you guys want to go over.
If you're a WCW fan,
you're going to like it.
You're going to want to stick around for this.
It's going to be super cool. But while we're talking about current day wrestling, and I've got a fucking Rolodex here, let's talk about the news that broke just yesterday. The WWE is moving away from the PG-13 rating.
Finally.
TV-14, baby.
Finally, we're going to get some reminiscence of... I mean, don't get it twisted.
We're not bringing back the Attitude Era.
We're not getting an Attitude Era. You can't do that in today's society.
But the PG era is over. And what TV-14, for those of you who are totally unaware, there are more liberties with language.
Means there will be blood.
There are more liberties with physical content of what you see on television. So, obviously the questions then are, what are they going to do with the new rating? It's clear that Vince is still in control of creative, and they do still have sponsors that they have to adhere to. They do still have corporate restrictions they have to adhere to. So we're not going to go back to the days of the hoe train.
No.
But...
Yeah, I think that would fly.
Even though, damn it, would be great to take one more trip.
However, maybe some more realistic matches, maybe a little bit more violence, not necessarily the blood and the guts, but maybe something that looks more reminiscent of what professional wrestling is supposed to look like.
Yeah, here's something I was actually thinking about with all of that is, okay, now with all the social media and everything, we've talked about it before, I don't know if it was on here or not, we've talked about it before, that with all the social media and everything, you can't hide personas, you can't hide the real life shit, you can't hide behind the scenes stuff of what wrestling is, and so many people aren't believable fans anymore because they know too much of behind the scenes stuff. But I remember, and I saw it, I think it was WrestleMania when the whole bloodline was beating down Riddle and Orton. Yeah. Was that WrestleMania? Whenever
it was, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember actually seeing the terrified look in some of the fans. Not just kids.
Yeah.
Kids were bawling their eyes out. There were adults that were screaming and didn't know.
Was SmackDown
and
before
I
last
remember
pay-per-view.
seeing that every Monday night.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, the obvious...
That's what I miss. Watching those fans actually wonder again.
Actually be invested in
care. And you know, wonder, are they actually hurt?
Well, we get so much extra sensory stuff because of the PG era.
Yeah.
Right.
Matt Riddle coming to the ring and birds flying out of his ass on graphics. And the hokey comedy where, you know, Otis is puking like they did on Monday Night Raw. The stuff that, like, doesn't really push any boundaries. It just seems infantile and it's a little insulting to your intelligence. If they stick to the format of a TV-14 rating, meaning that they can just generate good, solid, old-school stories with the incredible talent they have today, and keep in mind, AEW is not a better produced and or better booked show.
You never like John, you're right on time.
There are segments in AEW that are so different and so good because they're allowed to test the boundaries. The MJF story right now. That last promo he cut. Now, I'm not saying anybody's going to go on the USA Network and drop an F-bomb.
Tanya says, I miss looking at Sable. Me too.
Every day.
Brock Lesnar's a lucky man.
Yeah, well, boy is he. Hold on. Bethany says, just so you know, your YouTube graphic underneath the screen says Throwdown instead of Throwdown. Oh, thank you. We'll fix that. Anyway, it says Thrown Down.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah. We will have to fix that.
On just that one, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so with that being said, if Vince decides that he's actually going to go forward and head the creative in the direction for the TV to be prosperous and to be useful.
Yeah.
Because just because they have the rating doesn't mean they're going to use it. That's the thing. It's about the creative. But if they get some decent writers who aren't comedy writers,
right,
who want to write combat sports stories, this could be a whole new era in the WWE that we have clamored for.
Yeah, it really could.
Something that looks like the Ruthless Aggression era, where it was all about physical, hard-hitting contests. There were storylines peppered in, Kane and the baby and whatnot. You're always going to have that. But if we can get back to that, fuck, your rating's going to go up, baby.
Oh, I 100% agree.
1,000%.
I'm ready to see the PG era, and for those who are fans of PG era, that's fine.
There was good stuff.
You know, I'm curious to see what they do with the Viking ratings under that rating.
If the Raiders, if they cut the Raiders loose and let them be the big badasses.
They tried to repackage them, and so far it's not working.
But maybe with this new rating,
yeah.
And think about too.
Well, like I was saying, with the PG era, it almost felt like true wrestling fans who sat through the Attitude Era, who sat through the Golden Era, and this, that, and the other, it almost felt like our intelligence were being insulted.
Yeah, all the time. All the time. One other thing too, like, oh Lord, I've lost my train of thought.
John, everyone knew Wardlow was going to win that title, bro.
Hell yeah.
But you did call it as well.
Son of a bitch, I had a really good point to make. And now I don't remember what it was. Oh well. It'll come back to me or it won't. But yeah, something more akin to what pro wrestling looks like with some realistic, grounded stories.
Yes.
And some hard-hitting action. Fucking sign me up.
Especially...
Make me believe
if you take,
we're hurting each other.
If you take the leash off of Roman Reigns, because keep in mind, he's still collared by PG rules.
Yeah.
Take the leash off the big dog.
Well, and think about it. When we're setting up for The Rock and the big dog, The Rock being able to come back on TV and not have to watch what he says and pretty much say what he wants to say.
He can call Roman. Well, see, and that's the thing. They would. I mean, they'd still test it every once in a while. Cena and Roman, they said the bitch word a couple times. But let's get it. If you're in a physical contest with somebody, like a real heated exchange that you want people to buy into, I'm not going to say I'm going to kick your butt.
Right.
Now, you can't say I'm going to beat the fucking shit out of you on TV on USA Network, but you can absolutely say I'm going to get in this ring and kick your ass. Just that little extra added era of intensity is enough to change the whole program.
Ghostly, we're going to get into the Vince McMahon stuff at the end of the news segment, and we are
definitely
also going to break that open.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hold on for everything. There's still so
much to go. So let's stop gushing over the TV14 rating.
Okay.
Let's move on to another ridiculous news story that broke this morning. Former Ring of Honor superstar, former Impact superstar, former NJPW superstar, certainly now former, Michael Elgin, whom I have not been silent about my absolute disdain for this entire time.
None of us have.
Was arrested in Japan for stealing protein powder. I'm going to say that again because I want you to hear what I just said. Former Ring of Honor, Impact, NJPW megastar Michael Elgin was arrested in the country of Japan for stealing protein powder.
You mean like the shit you can buy at the store for $20?
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess nobody showed him the way. Sorry.
I fucking hate that.
And yet he found
But
it.
yes.
Wait.
Then, of course, like sometime this morning, Elgin managed to get on his Twitter, refuted it, said he's going home to be with his family because of a death in the family, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, man. It's a weird story. Remember when Evan Bourne was popped over in Japan for pot in 2016?
Yep.
And they came to a resolution, basically, he'll just never wrestle in Japan again. Because they've got pretty strict drug policy. They got really strict policies.
Well, here's the deal. If it was in Korea, he'd have been sentenced to death.
Yeah.
They have a zero tolerance for drugs over there.
So now we have a wrestler who makes wrestling look bad enough, in trouble. And let's just pretend for a second, because we don't, hell, that story could have totally been faked that every single news outlet reported on. Let's go with the narrative that it was fake. You obviously did something to get yourself into trouble. Otherwise, this conversation wouldn't be happening.
Correct.
Why can't you just be normal? Why?
For Michael Elgin?
Why is it so hard
Never
for you,
gonna
Michael,
happen. Never gonna
to
happen.
just not do shit that's going to get you in trouble? You're a talented wrestler. People know your name, and you've still had some value and some credit to some promotion.
To be fair,
I've
asked you questions a few times.
Yeah, but no one gives a shit about me.
That's not true.
I don't make the wrestling business look bad.
That's
People
not-
love our show.
That's not true. I care about you.
Thanks, baby. I appreciate you.
Care about
Stop
you
touching my leg.
sometimes.
Stop rubbing my thigh.
Not using my hands. But yeah, so that's a ridiculous headline we can talk about, I guess.
Well, we just talked about it. We
Yeah,
wasted
great.
enough time on that. Where we going
Fantastic.
next?
Let's talk about Ric Flair's last match card. Starrcast 5.
Sir, this is a well put together card.
Now look, there are a lot of dissenters who say things like Ric Flair's too old, they don't want to see it. Here's my recommendation. Don't watch it.
Yeah.
But if you're someone who can be in support of this with an open mind and realize that this guy gave his entire life to professional wrestling and just wants to do it one more time, then watch it and enjoy it. But let's talk about the undercard because they haven't even announced the main event yet. We still don't technically know who Ric Flair is going to be wrestling until Monday, until tomorrow. But right now, let's talk about what they do have scheduled.
Let's do it.
Because Conrad Thompson's the promoter of this event. Jeff Jarrett was supposed to help co-promote and then re-sign with the WWE. But they've reached out to every single every single secondary company that is in AEW to put this show together. So let me go down the list here. We've got Kenny and Ricky Morton. Ricky Morton, famously of the Rock and Roll Express, and his son with Ricky's tag team
I
partner.
worked with both of them in Metropolis.
Yes, you did. With Robert Gibson, Ricky's notorious tag team partner, in their corner, against Brian Pillman Jr. and Brock Anderson with Arn Anderson in their corner.
Sounds like Barn Burn.
That's going to be It's literally a multi-generational match.
Yeah, old school.
And how appropriate for an NWA-style sponsored event. We've got also the American Wolves, Davey Richards, and the other one,
Eddie
Edwards. I don't know why I forgot his name. Taking on the Motor City Machine Guns.
Protein powder probably was worth its weight in gold, yeah.
Not what I thought you were
Here's the
saying
deal.
it was laced with.
The Guns and the Wolves.
Sign
will
me
be
up.
a great tag team match if they can get Davey Richards to show up.
And if he does, it'll be great. I really hope he does. That match is going to sell itself.
They gonna pay Eddie Edwards in food?
Oh, that makes me sad. All right. In another interpromotional tag match, we've got Rey Fenix and Taurus against Laredo Kid and Bandito, all of which are former AAA champions.
Not to mention Bandito was a former Ring of Honor heavyweight champion.
That's going to be a fucking match, y'all. Then we have this is going to be the match of the night. I don't give a shit what anybody says, except for the Flair main event. Josh Alexander will defend the Impact World Championship against MLW's Jacob Fatu.
Dude, Jacob Fatu is a beast.
Absolutely. He's a member of the Samoan
Josh
Dynasty.
Alexander
is a beast. You want to talk about like the technical prowess of Josh Alexander, the power, the speed, and the fury of Jacob Fatu. That match is going to be one that absolutely nobody wants to miss.
It's like Kurt Angle versus Umaga.
That's exactly what it's like. Except these guys are both young, still healthy, still strong, still in their prime. The match is going to fuck. Match is going to fuck. So I had a lot of caffeine today.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
In another match that's going to be super dope, a three-way women's match for the Impact Women's Championship, the Knockouts title. Rachel Ellering, another second-generation superstar, against Deonna Purrazzo against Jordan Grace. Save it. Talk about the match first. Save it. Talk about the match first.
Okay.
Triple threat match between three of the top-tier women in the business right now for a second-tier company. It's going to be dope.
The two of them aren't trash.
Killer Cross is going to go head-to-head with Harry Smith.
Mm-hmm.
That match is going to be great.
Harry Smith, here's the deal. Harry Smith has not gotten his just dues.
No, he
The
hasn't.
man is every bit as good as his father was, if not better.
And if you haven't seen the shape that he's in,
Oh my God, ridiculous shit.
it's
He's also one half of the NWA Tag Team Champion.
yes, he is. And Killer Cross is, of course, Killer Cross.
Or as most... not-
Formerly Karrion Cross of NXT.
Yes.
Match is going to... or the White Rabbit in...
Yeah, that
Lucha
match,
Underground.
that's going to fuck.
Yeah, that match is going to be a banger.
Yeah.
Clark Connors versus Ren Narita. Now, I don't know these two very well. Or at all. But I'm sure it's going to be good.
Here's the deal. If it's on the card, it's definitely going to be worth being put on.
I wish that I had something to put them over with. I didn't do the research, and that's my fault. We just had so much to get together. But maybe that'll give me a reason to know who Clark Connors is. And give me a reason to figure it out and want to follow it up.
I have no idea who they are, but here's the deal. I like experiencing wrestling from people I don't know.
Yeah. The Von Erichs against the Briscoes.
Okay, first off, the Von Erichs versus the Briscoes
That's a pay-per-view main event.
is a match you can build with just the history of both wrestling dynasties.
Wait a minute. Did we just time travel?
Right?
The Von Erichs against the Briscoes?
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Both of those names have so much name value on them.
And
Both of
history
them-
as tag
history
teams.
as well. Dude, them boys have always been a favorite tag team of mine.
And the Von Erichs have really found their niche.
They really
and
have.
really, really come a long way and are very, very good.
The two tag team matches, not counting the trios match.
Yeah.
The two tag team matches themselves are going to be old school, hard hitting tag team contests.
Yeah, I
It's
can't
gonna
wait
be
to see it. And then in the main event, Ric Flair laces him up one more time against an opponent who is announced tomorrow. Now, the speculation currently is Chris Jericho. Keep in mind, too, though, Sting's still active and working for AEW.
Correct.
Sting and Flair, one more time, one more for the road.
I dig it.
Sting
promoted our show earlier
they could
today on
have my
Facebook.
money.
I saw that. That was pretty cool. I don't know.
That was WCW
How'd you get
Sting.
him
He
to
was
do
all-
that?
He's been out of work for a
He
while.
was always join Pro Wrestling Throwdown at 215. He shook his finger, something like this. He also has really cool tattoos and wristbands too.
That's right. So if not
Almost looked like yours.
If not Jericho, and let's say for the sake of conversation, not Sting, who would be somebody else you'd like to see lace him up one time against Flair?
Jay Lethal.
Jay Lethal was a possibility at one time, I think.
Also, Nick Aldis comes to mind.
Nick, that'd be a classic.
Trevor Murdoch being the NWA heavyweight champion at this time, and Harley Race's boy.
And Harley Race's boy. You know what I'd like to see? I know that they probably wouldn't do it, but they absolutely could. But how about William Regal? How about you throw some money at William Regal? He laces them bad boys up one time.
What about David Benoit?
What about him?
Don't you?
What about him, Max?
Don't. This is our first show back.
You know,
It's our first show back.
He's got he seems to have problems because of his name value, because he's a Benoit. But so I was thinking that maybe he could repackage himself and go like a Harry Potter theme. It's the boy who survived.
And that's the show for today, folks.
Be
sure to
bad taste.
merch and the stuff and things.
All right, we're gonna skip over that.
Hogan, we've got a
If you
Hogan.
don't like the idea, you could just say no.
No!
I have to be rude about it.
Simple no would have sufficed. Hogan is definitely a possibility. I doubt it, but you could see it. I mean, obviously, I think, as we said before, Jericho is probably looking like the prime candidate.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. He's wrestled Flair in the past.
Yeah.
He knows how to put over old talent and young talent. He can work just as well with anyone. Here,
He's the last really genuinely
Jericho,
major
and here's the
active
deal.
member of
For
the...
you people out there talking about Flair's age and stuff, I saw a recent picture of Flair, and that man is in shape better than he's ever been his entire life.
He's in better shape than we are in.
100%.
I mean, let's, call it like it is. And yes, he's 73, and yes, it's going to make you uncomfortable to watch considering his age, but don't think about that. Think about the fact that Ric Flair is getting into the ring one last time, and this will be the last time. There is no match again that happens down the road. This is it.
Yeah.
It's special, man. I don't care what people say about it. It's special. Check it out. That's StarCast 5. It's going to be on pay-per-view in August. I forget the date because I didn't write it down. But I'm going to buy it. We're going to buy it. We might even do that'd be something we could live stream here at the house.
Yeah.
Or we could do a tandem stream with you guys and talk about it.
Yeah, let us know in the comments and stuff if
Don't
that's
drink no
something
smoke.
you would like us to do.
John said David Slater.
That wouldn't be
I
a
hadn't
far stretch of
considered
the
David Flair,
imagination.
actually.
Crowbar, maybe?
Yeah. All right, we'll keep that in mind. All right, moving on. Still in the news, we're going to talk about a little bit of some of the wrestling that happened this week.
All right. Well, why don't you rapid fire us a couple let's do a rapid fire segment.
Lacey Evans, heel turn.
Fantastic.
Absolutely love it. I was not buying this shit to be in the beginning.
She's going to be the number one heel.
Yes.
The number one heel.
She got me in one night.
Yeah. All it took.
One night. That first initial night when she started to try to turn on everybody was not really believable. She come out on SmackDown and she ripped everybody apart. And it made me hate her and love her all at the same time.
It was a believable promo, and it comes right before they change the rating.
Now she
Imagine what she gets to do next week.
Screws in the ring a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, that's ring rust for not being around for a while.
Before, she was incredible, but she's been actively gone.
Tighten up the screws a little bit, and hell, yes, I'm on board.
Wolfie says, yes, I'm happy she's back.
Totally agree.
Or happy she's healed, I apologize.
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley now is wearing a heart monitor. There's a lot of underlining health problems right now.
Now, that being said, I wear one. I've got one implanted. It could just be to monitor certain things.
Also,
we're not saying she's got a major heart condition, but we are reporting that she's wearing a heart monitor. Yeah, but it's the implication is that there's something seriously wrong, and we don't know that to be true.
Ghostly, hold on. Who you talk about when you say you should wrestle him? I would love to wrestle Ric Flair. I'm just saying.
Ric Flair at 73 would teach me shit about wrestling that I never knew.
I'd also like to wrestle Brian Richards.
Never say never.
Would not.
Just saying.
I'd wrestle Brian Richards.
No.
I'd take on Brian Richards.
I don't want to get hurt that bad.
Speaking of Brian's, Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan has been officially diagnosed with a concussion. Tony Khan went on Barstool Wrestling the other night, as well as the the podcast Bully Random.
Busted Open.
Thank you. And said that AEW's protocol for concussions is that you have to go 8 days without any symptoms, any headaches, anything like that, which means,
dizziness.
Unfortunately, Bryan Danielson has not went 8 straight days without a symptom, without a headache, without anything. It's a sad, sad thing to do. I hope that we're going to get this under control and that we can get Bryan Danielson back.
Well, the obvious concern is his previous issues with CTE.
Yes.
I would like to say props to Tony Khan on that protocol because that's
yes,
it's great.
Yes,
he's come a long way and since letting Matt get a concussion 3 times and continuing wrestling. In the same week, they tried to kill Matt Hardy that week.
Yeah, they really did.
Sammy Guevara specifically. CM Punk.
CM Punk, there is news on the CM Punk front that All Out in Chicago will be the return of CM Punk, which means that show will be headlined by Jon Moxley versus CM Punk.
To unify the AEW and AEW interim championships.
Yep.
For the first time ever, CM Punk and Jon Moxley, not Dean Ambrose, because they wrestled in the WWE. We get Jon Moxley the way he wants to do things against CM Punk the way he wants to do things. If you were a wrestling fan in like 2002, you'd be shitting yourself right now. That match is going to be a killer. I don't care what. This is going to be the one time I say this, and you can count me on the record when I say it. For this match alone, I don't even care what Jim Cornette says about it.
No. Jim Cornette saying that Jon Moxley is the worst professional wrestler in the world is wrong. It's wrong. And I'm a corny fan. He's wrong. He's wrong.
I'm a card-carrying member of the
And he's
Cornette.
wrong. He's wrong.
I agree.
He's 100% wrong.
I agree, especially now.
Yes.
He's cleaned up, he's quick, he's lean, he's fighting hard.
Is that you calling him out, dog? Hey, play your cards right. That's all I'm saying.
We ain't saying don't say it. We just ain't saying say it.
The money's right.
The money's right.
I could always use a little blood money.
And for our last bit of big news, Big E.
Big E announced on Twitter that the doctors have said that the surgery is off the table.
Yep.
He will make a full recovery. They're waiting for the year mark to be able to make sure 100% that neck is good.
Yep.
And everything. Here's the deal. It could be a red herring and we could see a Big E return in the Royal Rumble. Here's the deal. Anything that has to do with Big E coming back, I'm all for.
Yeah.
I've been a giant hype man for Big E for the entire run of this podcast.
Well, yeah, even then, you've always been a bigger proprietor for the New Day than I was.
I'm a huge Xavier Woods fan. I'm a huge Kofi Kingston fan. Big E is somebody that the WWE cannot afford
to lose. Yeah, agreed.
Big E as his title run, sure, it was short. Sure, it wasn't what a lot of people expected it to be, but there's a lot of time. Big E is still young.
Yeah.
He's still fresh in everyone's mind, and he's a nice guy. He's also going to be one of the judges for the open talent search in Nashville the weekend of SummerSlam, where they're going to allow fans to attend a training seminar for WWE.
While we're talking about that, something we left off, some news that I just remembered. So remember we had the new wave of talent recruiting was specifically college athletes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That is no longer the case.
No.
Now independent wrestlers will again be invited to start attending recruiting seminars. So we could be getting the best blend of both worlds in these up-and-coming college athletes and these experienced indie wrestlers who might take that shot. We're looking at a whole new breeding ground for the WWE with a new rating.
Yeah, and you got this whole new style of all these indie guys coming up, mixing with these people that are trying to get in. Oh, wow.
Ghostly, while I see it, just come out of actually coming out of retirement, going to start training. Good
That's
for
awesome,
you,
man.
I tell you what, when you get booked for your first show, let me know where it's at. We'll be there.
We'll be there with shirts. All right. So now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the podcast.
Well, hold on. Before we get to that, it also fails. We shouldn't fail to mention that Jeff Jarrett is now the special guest referee for SummerSlam's tag team title match between the Crime Profits
and the Crime
and the
God
Usos.
damn you.
And the huge return of Dolph Ziggler.
Yes. What a great promo. He looks good. Remember, he just come off dropping the NXT title again.
Yes.
He's back on TV. If you need someone to make someone, Dolph Ziggler's your guy.
Also, I'm going to mention that everyone is on the Theory bandwagon right now. I don't exactly know if Austin Theory is the guy you should hinge your bets on right now.
Austin Theory, remember, was caught up in the Me Too scandal.
Yes.
For the... It has not been...
Allegedly.
Well, I'll just leave it with that. The alleged contact with minors in an explicit manner. Now, that story is very sordid. He met this minor at a bar. This is the facts of the story. Look, you can draw your own opinions. This is the fact that has been provided thus far.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's other stuff too, but this is what I know. This is what I recall having happened. He met the minor at a bar, assumed the minor was an adult. Apparently, there may have been a conversation in which the minor reassured the fact that they weren't an adult. All of this stuff is subject to hearsay and blah, blah, blah. Here's the point. If it's true, fuck Austin Theory.
Yes.
Point blank. If it's not true, then kudos to the WWE for not deliberately taking his career without the facts. Because we've seen them do that before. All I'm saying is...
This isn't a pro-Austin Theory.
Nor is it deliberately anti. This is just the benefit of the facts, because it's worth mentioning that there's a very real possibility that there could have been some miscommunication, and there's also the very real possibility that there wasn't.
Correct.
So...
It should be pointed out, though.
Exactly. Keep that in mind. Now, on that topic, I have to do a disclaimer before we start talking about this, because this is important to me.
Yes.
The following subject matter is going to be heavy. We're going to have some conflicting opinions, and it may even be triggersome to some people viewing at home right now. So, we're giving you that warning that you may now graciously remove yourself from the stream or mute us for a little bit, because we're going to be talking about the Vince McMahon scandal. And there are going to be some opinions that we offer that may not... We will explain ourselves and vet ourselves very clearly. That way there's no miscommunication. And again, what we're producing is information coupled with a few personal opinions.
Yes.
So that being said, before we get into that, understand that the following content, again, may be triggersome, and we appreciate you hanging out and hearing us out while we have this discussion. When we last left you guys, Vince McMahon was under investigation. The investigation had just started.
Yes.
By the board of directors regarding a couple of NDAs that were never fully disclosed to shareholders. What we were initially told was one or two smaller suits equating to the sum of $3 million has now blown open, and now we're looking at a margin. And this investigation's ongoing. Actually, some more news is supposed to break tomorrow, because there's going to be another closing statement from the board of directors investigation. So what we're telling you right now is only current until tomorrow.
Yes.
Now the number has grown to more women and more money, upwards to the tune of $12 million. Now, there are at least two of these cases in consideration that were caused by coercion and possible SA. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to allow the anagram to speak for itself. Under those circumstances, if they are proven to be true, then I hope from the bottom of my heart Vince McMahon spends the rest of his life in prison and an eternity in hell afterward.
100%.
Point blank. If you're a billionaire and you abuse your station with your employee, if you're any sort of person in authority, regardless of your monetary status, and you abuse the station of your employees for your own gratification, using intimidating tactics, using the fear that they're not going to be able to work again, and using any sort of fucking just underhanded, disgusting motivations that you have, you're a bad fucking person. I don't care what you did for the wrestling business.
100%.
Now, that being said, there are also a couple of examples that may have been concluded to be consensual relationships. The NDA was signed specifically because Vince McMahon cannot divorce his wife because of their ICS filing status. Were that to happen, it's a corporate thing. A number of shares would have to get dissolved, and the WWE becomes worth less money. And then when you look at the monetary splitting, Linda would end up getting, a majority portion, because during this entire success they were married.
Yes.
So all of that being said, if they were consensual relationships, and you took the money, and again, strictly not under the basis of coercion.
Right.
You agreed to the situation. Point blank. If you cash the check, without being under terms of duress, then all that is a business transaction between two consenting adults, and frankly, it's nobody's fucking business.
However, if there was coercion and there was a do it or else mentality,
yeah,
you are scum.
Yep. John Laurinaitis as well, and also all of the fucking little road toads who not only cultivated that environment, but protected Vince while doing it. That points to Pritchard. Mm-hmm. That points to Kevin Dunn. Mm-hmm. That points to everybody in that linear office. I'm not even going to go as far to absolve Jim Ross of certain guilts. Now, granted, he worked in the office primarily and wasn't on the road for all of it. When he was on the road, he was working. But you work with somebody for 25 years, and you don't understand that there could be something. And again, we're not even... Look, there's the possibility that maybe they felt like they had to protect Vince. Maybe he does go to Pritchard, and he says, you keep your fucking mouth shut or you don't have a job anymore. Pritchard's got like 7 kids. He's got a mortgage. He's got to pay his bills too. All of this stuff is just under the basis of duress alone.
I took a lot of the dates and a lot of the things that have been said.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of talk of Joy Giovanni.
Yeah.
The years fit Joy Giovanni when a lot of people failed to realize. And this is hearsay. This is my opinion on everything, and I hope that I'm wrong. I really, really do. But there was a fantastic women's athlete named Ashley Mazzario, who in 2009
was sexually assaulted.
Well, was sexually assaulted in 2016. In 2019, she took her own life.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, the timeline falls correctly. She was assaulted in Kuwait. This is all record. You can find all of this information. She was assaulted in Kuwait. She brought it up to the WWE hierarchy. They told her not to mention anything about it, not to say anything, and nothing was ever done about it. She, like I said, unfortunately took her own life in 2019.
She did fall into a pattern of certain activities, drugs, and obvious coping mechanisms that come with being in that sort of position.
Now, with that being said, after her passing, her lawyer picked up the
NDA.
Court case and tried to pursue some kind of ramification, is that the right word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
To which it was thrown out of court, which, you know, the President of the United States at the time was a WWE Hall of Famer. Not bringing him into this on purpose, but facts are facts.
And the chairman of the board's wife served on that president's cabinet.
So, if it turns out that Ashley Mazzario is the person in question that the sex was forced upon, what does that say, Caleb? Legally,
well,
what happens?
Legally, so first of all, the family would have to agree to the indictment. They would have to, because the NDA, when you sign an NDA, it's basically it's an illustration of the situation. An NDA is very directly, this is what occurred, this is what we are paying you not to talk about, in the basest form of terms, right? There is a statute of limitations on certain things, and believe it or not, in the corporate environment, shit like this happens all the time. It's kind of gross, where people with power will absolve their authority on people, and then they pay them off to be quiet. If it is proven in court by the family, and they agree to the indictment, and the investigation is launched, and a doctor or somebody who was privy to the situation, like one of Ashley's friends, for instance, one of the other women who've come forward was a friend of one of the other alleged victims, wasn't even the alleged victim herself. So that doesn't disqualify the nature of the NDA, because the only thing that fractures an NDA is the absolution of truth. So if what the friend of this other person, again, not Ashley, another one of the other alleged victims, if what that friend says is true, then legally the WWE, Vince McMahon specifically, is not protected by the NDA. Because it wasn't like the person that it happened to broke it. It was someone who was close basically said, this is what happened, and I know it for a fact. The same thing would happen in this regard, and here's the interesting thing. Last year, New York changed its bylaw on the statute of limitations of sexual assault. There's an age bracket and a period of time in which you can legally report a sexual assault, and forever it was like, I think it was like 15 years. Now it's much longer and much farther, depending on the age bracket you fell into. It's much longer for minors, for instance. And also, there are some situational things that are taken into consideration. Basically, all of that being said is to say this. If Ashley Massaro is announced as one of the victims, and again, this is just a speculation we had at the exact same time because of the timetable. We don't know any of this to be true, and we're not trying to drag anybody else into a situation they don't want to be into. This is just something we connected ourselves, and we take full responsibility of that.
Yes.
Basically, their family would have until, I think, 2025 or 2026 to prosecute on those grounds. So if that's the case, while it may not come out in the wash immediately, it absolutely could in court. Now, if Vince has to go to court and face federal indictments for... Right now, it's the monetary issue that they're focusing on most. Where the money came from that he used to pay his victims off. If there's any form of embezzling, then he goes to court. Then he goes to court for that. Then he has to get challenged by the stockholders, and he goes to court with them. Then he gets challenged by the sponsors, and he has to go to court with them. That's going to be a long process.
Yes.
We're talking at least 2 to 3 years, possibly, unless a federal court gets involved and wants to expedite the case. But if any of that happens, if any of this victimhood, if any of that is presented to be true in any sort of way, Vince McMahon will spend the rest of his life in prison.
Yeah, 100%. And just do.
Yeah. Minority shareholders would then take effective hold of his stock. Majority shareholders would still hold the majority that are left in the family. For instance, most of his stock would get dissolved to the linear McMahon family, whoever the majority shareholder is at that time, which I believe now is Stephanie.
Yes.
Or actually possibly Linda, but again, her shares are marital property.
Yes.
It's not the same thing as being left shares by inheritance.
Right.
So, all of that to be said, this investigation is still ongoing, and we're still waiting on what's real, what speculation is, and what's going to come out in real time with court documents. There's going to be more information presented tomorrow, and we are going to continue to report on this story. John Wagner asked, where does Lawler fall into this? The same goddamn place, because he did the same goddamn thing to a 16-year-old in the 80s, and the entire state of Tennessee covered it up.
Or Jimmy Superfly Snuka and the death of his wife.
We could go on and on about wrestling tragedies and the type of people who shouldn't be involved in the wrestling business. It's going to keep happening. The more information that comes to light, we hope that the fucking people responsible get their just dues.
All right. Now that we've said our piece and our opinion, that's it.
That's it.
Until there is more news, that's it. Now, to move on to a little bit more lighter of a subject.
First, I'd be remiss. Make sure to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/ProWrestlingThrowdown. Follow us on Twitter at ProWrestlingTD. You can send us an email at ProWrestlingThrowdown@gmail.com. You can also follow us on TikTok at ProWrestlingThrowdown1. You can check out ProWrestlingThrowdown.com when it comes back up for our merch store. And while it's down, you can still check us out at Streamlabs.com/ProWrestlingThrowdown and visit that merch store. Buy our shit. Don't forget, we're running another contest after this month for a Pro Wrestling Throwdown mug. All driven by donations. Every single donation we get, every dollar gets you an entry into the bucket. Here's the bucket.
There's the entries for this month.
Yeah, that's just this month. There are over 200 entries in here right now. Every single cent gets reinvested into equipment. We don't take a dollar of that for ourselves. We just appreciate that you guys are willing to help us grow the channel because we appreciate the fact that you like and enjoy our content. That being said, speaking of content, speaking of the contest, speaking of stuff, we get to draw our very first winner.
Yes, we do. The
For
winner
the month of July.
of this draw will get a autographed.
They'll get a free Pro Wrestling Throwdown t-shirt and an autographed Pro Wrestling Throwdown authentication piece that we're going to decide. Yes. We think it might be an 8x10. We'll autograph it, write a little gimmick on it for whoever wins, and then the free t-shirt.
Now, before we get to the drawing, which I'm excited for,
yes, remember
that after today's show, as in once, actually you can do it now.
Yeah.
Right now on streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown.
Check out our
merch store. But also, while you're there, if you make a donation of $8, that is an entry into the contest for the coffee mug for next month.
Yep.
And for every dollar that you donate will be one specific entry. $10, 10 entries. $20, 20 entries.
Yeah.
However you want to do that, leave your name, leave what you donated.
And because we're starting this mid-month, we will do that drawing at the end of August.
Yes.
So there's plenty of time. If you want to donate $1 just to get your name in the bucket, we appreciate that. Also, we're not here begging for your money.
No.
Like, we started that specifically to generate a little extra money so we can build the channel. No one is expected to donate. We don't want that. We just want anybody who feels like participating to do so. Plus, it's a way for us to give back without you having to go deliberately on the website and spend a ton of money on merch when you could spend $1 and maybe get a name in the ring.
Exactly.
That's all it is. We did that for you guys. You guys
more of a to get us close with our audience.
Exactly. Yeah.
All the money that is taken goes right back into the show. We don't line our pockets with any of it.
I spend all of it on cocaine and hookers.
Yeah, whatever we need to help make the show better.
Like cocaine and hookers.
For you.
Also, the money will
hookers
go
and
into...
Sorry.
the money will go into trying to procure wrestlers for interviews.
Yeah.
Trying to do several different things.
Yeah.
It's a contest. It's fun.
Thanks, Wolfie.
For donating at least a single $1, you get entered.
Yeah.
So,
And that's the thing. If you look at some of our merch, because it's a second party thing, we know our merch can be a little pricey. So, if we want to raffle off one of our bigger items, you won't have to spend the $30 if you just donate $1 and have the opportunity to win. So we're trying to cut out the middle.
Also, the prices are made that way because we only get a small revenue from what is actually sold.
Yeah. So that being said, I think it's time to draw our winner for the month of July.
I think it is time to draw the winner.
All right, here we go. You guys all see this. These are all sealed names. Every single dollar donated got your name in the bucket. We had over $200 worth of donations, which we are so grateful for. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you guys so much.
Also, we are only going to mention first names.
Yeah.
Because we will
protect
reach out.
The anonymity of our,
Yeah, we'll reach out and contact that person once the name is drawn.
All right, you see me shaking it up. Y'all are watching this happen live. We ain't cooking the books over y'all.
No.
No, yeah. I'm even going to do this thing. I'm going to take some. Oh, no, I lost one. Got to put that back. I'm going to take this thing out. You guys are going to see I'm shaking them up. There's nothing going on here.
Thank you, Wolfie. Thanks, everybody.
And flip them up top. All right, I got one.
You got one?
It's folded close. And I'm going to slide this over to you. That way I can't know whose name is on it.
All right. And the winner
of the free the first. Actually, no. The second, because we did give away one Pro Wrestling Throwdown t-shirt last year for our 100th subscriber.
That is correct.
So for our second ever piece of free merch, goes to Carla! Carla was one of our contributors. We won't give her last name, but she contributed quite a bit to the channel here. And Carla just won herself a free Pro Wrestling Throwdown t-shirt.
It's as easy as that, folks. Donate $1, donate whatever you want.
Get your name in the bucket. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for all of that. Now that we're getting into the fun stuff, we're getting into the super cool stuff. I think it's that time.
I should have donated to get into this contest.
You can always try again this month.
You can go right now to Streamlabs.
Streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown. That's our hoster site while the website's down. And you can check out all of our merch there. If you donate $1, you get your name in the bucket. And this month, like we said, is going to be a Pro Wrestling Throwdown mug. And also, so we're not going to autograph the items individually.
No.
We are going to, with every giveaway piece, we're going to take whatever we decide it's going to be, the ticket of authenticity, and that's what we're going to autograph.
Yes.
That way it's not on your physical merchandise, so you don't lose it, and then you can frame the other piece or do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can use it, you can wear it, not worry about, the autograph coming off of it or anything like that. We really do want to say thank you to the donations that we have gotten. It's very important that you guys know that everything that you do for this channel, we appreciate wholeheartedly. Yeah. We're glad that you're here every week. Without you guys, there is no Pro Wrestling Throwdown. That's just fact. It's not lip service. It's not blowing smoke. That's fact.
Yeah, 1,000%. All right. Well, I think it's that time.
Now remember, after this segment, we're going to have a what if segment. You do not want to miss this.
Yeah, this isn't the end of the show. We're actually probably only about halfway through. So, that being said, it's time for our favorite segment of the week. It's time for birthdays.
Bullshit.
Max, take it away. You got 3 weeks worth of birthdays over there.
I have a few. I don't have a whole lot.
Okay.
The show's been so long.
Who won when we were last together? Was it you?
It was me last time.
I believe so.
All right. Here we go.
So we only have a few. I think I have like 6 or 7 of each.
Don't drink, don't smoke.
And then we'll have just a shade, a little bit of bullshit, then a whole lot more to talk about. All right, we're going to start out. Well, we're going to reach back and go to July 9th. We had Kevin Nash, and Shelton Benjamin.
Ooh.
Okay, before we get into that, Wolfie, I want to thank you for the kind sentiment, saying this is the best part of his Sundays. We appreciate you allowing us
Best
into your
part of
home on
ours, too.
Sundays.
I will not.
Thank you very
I will
much.
not.
Wolfie.
Wow, she must be really lagged. It's been a while since you
It's
talked
been a
about
while since I brought
Yeah.
that up. That's all right.
All right, who we going with first? Kevin Nash or Shelton Benjamin?
Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash is 65 years old.
Kevin Nash is 57 years old.
Kevin Nash is 63 years old.
Yes! Sorry.
What did you say, Luke?
57?
He got it. I said 65.
Okay.
Yep, I got it.
Point, Luke. What about Shelton Benjamin? What a fucking badass, right?
He's also older than you think he is.
Shelton Benjamin's 43 years old.
Shelton Benjamin's 45 years old.
Shelton Benjamin is 47
Damn!
years
Wow!
old.
47. And can still stretch everybody on the roster.
You betcha.
That's but look, y'all don't understand that Shelton Benjamin was an all-American collegiate athlete in 3 major sports.
Yes.
And is legitimately double tough.
One of the most underrated guys in the WWE.
Bully Ray Dudley on Busted Open one time went into a very, very clear and long diatribe about just how tough Shelton Benjamin is. He's a bad mamma jamma. Always been one of my favorites.
I would also like to mention that in Brock Lesnar's entire NCAA career, only 2 people were able to pin him, one of which was Shelton Benjamin. No one cares
As a
about
matter of fact, when they put Brock back on the road, they specifically brought Shelton back to be his road buddy to keep him in check.
Yep. Yep.
Kind of a neat tidbit there. All right, who we got next?
Next, we have we go back to the 12th.
Okay.
We had Sami Zayn
Ooh.
and Brock.
All right.
Sami Zayn first.
Yeah.
38.
Sami Zayn is 40 years old.
What's the second?
38.
Sami Zayn is 38 years old.
I figured right around
Yeah.
that time frame. Brock Lesnar.
Brock is 44.
Brock Lesnar is 47 years old.
Brock Lesnar is 45 years
Thank you
old.
very
I
much.
think you just tied it
Tied
up.
that bitch up quick, didn't I?
Tied it up.
With, ironically, Brock Lesnar.
2 more wrestling birthdays. On the 15th, we have, I want to say he's the Predator Killer, but he totally got killed. But I hear that he's a sexual dynamo. Jesse the Body Ventura.
Just sexual.
I got the gangrene.
Got to gangrene.
Oh, sorry, he's a sexual tyrannosaurus.
For your dad, punk.
You know who does the best Jesse Ventura impression?
Jesse
Killer
Ventura.
Cross.
Yeah, he does.
I was there, Chris. I was there in the
sexual
jungle.
tyrannosaurus. I'm sorry.
Ventura's got to be in his 70s, right?
I'm going to say 76 years old.
71.
71 on the nose,
Yeah,
Caleb.
you pulled ahead.
And then we had on the 16th, the almighty Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley's 46 years old.
Bobby Lashley is 47 years old.
You've been watching our Facebook. Bobby Lashley is 46 years
I only
old.
had 3 weeks to study.
I tell you what, Bobby Lashley
Doesn't look it.
looks good.
Wait, Bobby, how old was Shelton?
47.
Bobby Lashley's younger than
Yep.
Shelton Benjamin. That blows my mind.
Yeah.
But he was in the WWE 3 years before Lashley got there. So
Yes.
I guess that tracks.
Brock Lesnar's younger than Bobby Lashley by a year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
A lot of 46 and
I thought
47
he
year
was
olds.
older than Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Look, Brock Lesnar can be as old as Brock Lesnar wants to
As
be.
every day.
Damn
Every
right.
day, all
Because
day.
I ain't going to tell him he's wrong.
No.
Nobody tells him he's late when he shows up. No.
He arrived right on time.
Right on time, sir.
That started 15 minutes ago, but you're right on time.
Matter of fact, we were waiting for you.
That's what happened with the Money in the Bank when he won that year. He didn't even have to be in the match. He was like, I'm going out to the ring. And they were like, well, go ahead. There's the door. You know what I mean?
Hello, son. Oh, good. All right, what do we got next?
Alright, it is 4 to 2. We're going to go into some celebrity birthdays. We have 7 of them.
Still plenty of time. So you're saying there's
So-
a chance.
I'm saying there's a chance.
Don't make me go get the Sting mask, because I'll do it.
I'll fight you.
Alright, we reach back again to the 6th. Also, again, I'm only gone up to like the 16th.
That's fine.
We'll recap as we go along.
That's just fine. Let's get
Works
it.
for me.
We go back to the 6th. And we had Kevin Hart.
Oh, wow.
Deceptively older than you think. I'm going to say 46.
I'm going to say that he's 41.
Deceptively younger.
Really?
He was 43 years old.
Nice.
Nailed it. Also, one of the funniest fucking people in comedy.
Yes,
1000%.
absolutely. And one of The Rock's
Best
best
friends. Which
Yeah.
is a crazy pairing if
Yeah.
you think about it. But,
It is, but it isn't.
But they work so well together, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's one of those, like, Hollywood
Even though he
tandems.
looks like a child standing next to The Rock.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they haven't remade twins with the two of them is beyond me.
I know, right?
Oh, my God. Do it. Do it.
Yeah.
Reach out to someone. Do it. We
Yeah.
want to see it.
Please.
Oh.
Hashtag twins rock heart.
All right.
Rock hard.
See, Russell, on the 6th, we had 3 more on the 6th. Let's just go one at a time. We had Sylvester Stallone.
Sly. The Fox.
Rocky Balboa.
Oh, 73 years old.
76.
76 years old. I think you've been watching
Dang.
it a little bit too.
I'm Italian.
Add that up real quick. I watch a Rocky Marathon every year. Actually, I watch it every July 4th.
Yep.
Also,
Haven't missed a year.
I actually watched Rocky myself. So.
always been friends with Hulk Hogan for years
Yeah.
since Rocky
And
3.
was one of the biggest proponents in Hollywood for professional wrestlers.
Uh-huh.
And you know who Stallone's favorite wrestler was? Terry Funk.
Terry Funk. That don't surprise me
Really?
at all.
Yep.
Don't surprise me at all.
69.
Also, next we have Captain Barbosa.
I thought you were going to say
himself.
Captain Lou Albano, and I was like, that's a wrestling one.
Jeffrey
Jeffrey
fucking
Rush.
Rush.
My favorite character in the Pirates franchise.
Casanova Frankenstein.
Oh, yes.
He was played.
Also played Javert and Les Mis.
He played basically Vincent Price's role. I forget the actual character name in House on
House on
Haunted
Hill.
Hill.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of my
100%.
absolute favorite roles of his.
Uh,
Because I love Vincent Price, and he played it perfectly.
Yeah, he really did.
77 years old?
I'm going to go a little younger. I'm going to say 75.
He is deceptively young. He is only 71.
Wow. Right on.
Congratulations to you.
Good for you,
Son of a
Barbosa.
bitch.
Also, on the 6th, we remembered the great Ned Beatty.
Oh,
Fucking love
man.
Ned Beatty.
Love Ned
Now, Caleb, I know you remember who he is. Why don't you explain to the people?
Beatty. I don't.
Are you serious?
I
You
haven't-
don't remember Ned Beatty?
I don't. I'm sorry.
He was in Gremlins. He was the dad in Gremlins.
Oh,
was
shit.
the
You're
dad
right.
in
He's the
Gremlins.
dad
Yeah.
of Gremlins. God damn it.
He also is the one that squealed like a pig on the river in Deliverance.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
one of my absolute favorite roles, and probably one of his most notable and biggest roles, even though he had thousands,
Oh, yeah.
was he played Lex Luthor's little henchman guy in the original
Superman.
movie
Yep.
Fuck.
with Christopher Reeve.
I did
Ned
know
Beatty
that.
has a career that
He
spans
was
several decades.
1937 to 2021. So we just lost him. a couple
Wow.
years ago.
Almost made.
Actually, I believe it was complications from COVID, if I'm not mistaken.
Man.
I don't remember.
I believe it was.
Maybe-
Anyways,
Maybe.
rest in peace.
Yes.
In power,
Rip.
rather.
Then we go back to July 9th.
Okay.
Another phenomenal actor that there's too many roles to even try to go through them all. The great Tom fucking Hanks. I know that's not actually your middle name,
Yes, it is.
but
Tom
you
Hanks
have to
is
change
middle
to it.
Hold on.
We have a
Is
question.
that you, Toby Jones? All right, hold on. We do have two questions. I want to answer these real quick. Toby asks, I have an indie wrestling question. What was the best promotion you had ever wrestled for? Well, Toby, Robert, he gets that joke. Only he gets that joke. I mean, in my time, probably because I just spent so much time there and loved it, was ICOM. And I know a lot of people say what they want about it, but I had a blast.
To be honest with you, I had a blast wrestling for
Heartland.
Big Will Dixon.
It's good times back in the day. RPW was fun. Hell,
We had a lot of fun.
Look, I didn't wrestle in a ton of great places, but I had a lot of fun doing all of it. Swag was fun. SNPW was fun.
Yeah.
KCW was fun. I mean, I had a good time.
HWE was fun for the night we wrestled there.
Yeah, when I took
thought.
their ring post. Or their turnbuckle, rather. Who do you think would win, The Miz or Logan Paul,
Logan
asks my son. Logan Paul.
Okay, where are we at?
Tom motherfucking Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, 61.
62.
66
Sorry.
years.
I had to
young.
price right you.
Let's Caleb.
It's for Tom Hanks. It's cool.
5 to 4 with
5 is not an even number. 5 is an odd.
3 more.
3 more.
All right.
Still take this.
We're getting down to
3
the
more.
nut.
Also,
time.
remember when we're done here, we still have quite a bit more to talk about.
Yes,
so
we
do
do.
not
So
leave.
don't leave.
Yep. We go back again to the 9th. We had Fred Savage. And also a little known fact that is Macho Man Randy Savage's
No, it's not.
bastard son.
It's not
it's
even
not.
close.
That's
Not even
that's
close.
where I'm starting.
What are you going to say? His mom was Stephanie's? Is that what you're saying?
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Fred Savage, of course, The Wonder Years, Princess Bride,
Little Monsters.
Little Monsters, my favorite childhood movie growing
I
up.
know. That's why I said it.
Fred Savage.
Got him.
Need him, got him, need him,
Also,
got
Little
him.
Monsters was the first movie that both Fred and Ben Savage were in together.
Correct.
Fred Savage. Wait, was Fred Savage also in Flight of the Navigator, or am I thinking somebody else?
You're thinking somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fred Savage, he's a grown man. It's got to be. Hold on a minute. Let me do some math in my head, because in the late 90s, his younger brother was already in his 20s, and he was 5 or 6 years older than him. So I'm going to say Fred Savage is 48.
I'm going to say 47.
How about 46 years?
Damn, we were
Close.
so close.
Close.
No point, and it is at 5 to 4
With 2 left.
with 2. What?
Will we ever see either of you wrestle again? Depends on Brian Richards.
Yes, you will see me wrestle again. That's my answer.
Just saying.
There you go.
Just throwing it out there. Good.
Just pay attention over the next couple of weeks.
On the July 13th, and I'm gonna call it now because it's my hopes and my dreams. Future 24/7 champion Kim Jong.
Didn't he run Korea?
No.
Not Kim Jong Un.
No.
Moron, you
Oh.
the actor.
Oh, the Did You Die guy. Okay.
The former brain surgeon turned actor
Yeah.
because his wife
Yeah,
encouraged comedy.
Oh, so you're talking about the dude that kidnapped Black Doug.
Yes.
Okay. Got you.
That could be his gimmick. He can
Motherfucker.
come out with almost. He can come out with almost.
He's,
And he can Black Doug.
I think he's in his
He's definitely in his 50s.
mid-50s. I'll say 55.
I'm going to say 54.
How about 53?
Never going to catch up this one.
No point.
No.
We have
Not even close.
one left. And you're 5 to 4, Caleb's lead.
That's right. We got
All
one
right.
left.
So we're going to make this for all the marbles?
Oh, no. No, you're going to eat this loss if I get it.
But if we tie, then we tie.
Then we tie.
All right.
We'll figure something out.
Go for it. Go for it.
We'll cross that bridge when we
We'll burn that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah.
We go to burn bridges.
Buddy, I'm a burning bridge. I'm a bitch. I'm a bridge burning one.
On the 15th, we have Mr. Gabriel and Gabriel Iglesias.
That is not Pete.
Oh, wait, you're right. That's Fluffy, isn't it?
Yeah. You're thinking Carlos
You're thinking
Mencia.
Carlos
I am
Mencia.
thinking Carlos Mencia.
Number 1.
That is my mistake.
Number 2, racist. Number 3, insensitive.
That was the funniest shit ever. You know it.
We can't talk about it anymore. It was before the 15th.
All right, no.
All right,
Gabriel
Fluffy.
Fluffy.
I want to say he's older than most people
He's
think.
not
he
as
is.
old as you think, though, because he was on all that when we were kids.
But that's my point.
I'm going to say he's closer to my age. 43.
44.
46.
I'm the reigning champion! Bow for my greatness, mortals! So,
And then I have one
Sorry, had a mouthful.
little tidbit
of course you did.
to share
Uh-huh.
worth of bullshit.
Jesus Christ, I've seen this
John,
already.
John.
This-
John. Hold on. John, let's be serious for a second.
You're gonna like this.
John Wagner initially asked if I could, would I wrestle him again? And I said no. And then he said, why not, Caleb? I'm going to put this as politely as possible.
Everybody get a book. Gonna be a while.
While we had fun wrestling in an environment that wasn't conducive to requiring real skill, I, in fact, do possess real skill. And by proxy, you do not. I love you, and you're great as a person, but if I'm going to work my ass off to get back in shape to get in the wrestling ring again, I would like to do so against trained professionals, among one of which you ain't.
I'll kick your ass again.
And that was as diplomatic and polite as I could be about it. It's not because I don't love you, it's because of training. Toby, I have wrestled you so many fucking times. I will pull up the video of us trying to double suplex you and you falling on your ass if you want me to. Won't you start with me, sir? Won't you start?
All right, on to the bullshit.
All right.
On to more.
I would absolutely wrestle you again, Toby.
Yes, I do have just this one.
Yeah, you
piece
thought I
to
forgot
share.
about that shit. I'll call Edmund right now.
This comes to me and to all of you from one of our loyal viewers, Tanya. I hope she's still on here for this.
Play the Down and Gremlins. Oh, Patrick Morey is in the house with a correction. I can't believe I have to fact check your show. The man who played the dad on Gremlins was Hoyt Axton.
You are
For
correct.
shame.
You are correct.
Too bad your skill isn't knowing who was in movies.
Love you guys.
We'll get to that.
Patrick Morey, for those of you who aren't aware, one of my acting buddies, phenomenal talent, genuinely brilliant to work on stage with, one of my best friends. So glad you could join us, brother.
Yes, welcome.
Stop the cat. Robert? Stop playing in my water. Stop playing in my water.
All right, come to us from Tanya. What do we got?
All right. I hope she's still on here for this. Now, I'm disappointed we don't have the picture.
Fair.
I'm going to describe it. And this is the facts. I am not biased towards anybody, race-wise.
Well, did you take
This
the
is
good?
a-
Hold on. Did you take the good?
Huh?
Did you take the good?
What do you mean?
Did you take the good?
Did you take the picture?
No.
No. Did you take the good? Yes or no?
What good? What do you...
Did you just yes or no? Did you take the good?
I'm scared to answer that.
Just answer the goddamn
I
question
know you
and
do.
stop holding this bit up. Did you take the good?
I didn't take anything.
Did you take the bad?
I didn't take that either.
Because if you didn't take the good nor the bad, then you didn't take them both, and there you don't have the facts of life. It's a facts of life joke. It's a facts of life joke. You idiot.
The Huxtables will be really mad at you.
Jesus. Take the
Anyway.
good, you take the bad, you take them both.
There's a picture.
Love you, brother. Take it easy, Toby. Thanks for
Have a
tuning
good
in
one,
today.
brother.
This is the background is clearly off of a news site. It's a large black guy in a cow costume.
Okay. This is great.
Headline: Man pretends to be a cow in milking competition. Gets jacked off for hours. Wait, there's more. I'm not gonna use it. Well, this is public, I guess.
You can. It's a real story.
Carl Twinley of Beaumont,
Texas.
has been arrested on charges of public indecency and masturbation by deception. Mr. Twinley posed as a dairy cow during the local 4-H milking competition. Carl was milked by a total of 13 contestants before he was uncovered.
13 people, Caleb. They say everything's bigger in Texas. Oh, Lord.
And
For shame.
that is what I have.
Hold on.
Hold on, let me hit the subscribe button here. Just for those that are still here.
Oh, hold on. Oh, hold on. Everybody just... Okay. On the principle of discussing this, of which I am loath to do, I could understand maybe a cow costume getting that past one person.
One time.
But 12 more people fell in line. And also, I guess, respectable recovery time.
I guess.
But it also never specifies that they were all women.
Whoever was fooled by the man in the cow costume deserved to be known as the man who jacked off a guy in a cow costume.
I mean, look, I'm the king of getting in where you fit.
Hold on, wait a minute. Do you think he mooed the whole time?
This will be our last pro wrestling.
And what did they do? What did they do with the said unsaid milk?
Thank you so much, Tanya.
Fantastic. All right.
John Wagner says, but in all honesty, I love to see you wrestle again. Caleb, you're great. Want to say thank you for giving me a shot at somewhat living my dream. I love you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All
Patrick
right.
Morey says, you think that's at Joke's birthday? It's like 50. And then he goes on to whomever gets fooled bit. Hold on, before you start.
Oh, here we go.
I need a minute
Done broken.
alone with my.
Also, while he's taking a second here, enjoying his cow milk, I would like to remind everybody that we have a contest running for a free coffee mug. Streamlabs.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown. Donate as little as $1 for every dollar you enter, or every dollar that you spend is entered into a contest for the free mug at the end of August. None of the money gets kept. It all goes back into the show. Also, I'd be remiss not to say, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, share this with your friends. We're trying to build a number here. We're close. We're really, really close. Almost like the guy in the cow costume. We're almost to our...
If you were alone in a room with Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein, and I had a gun with 2 bullets, I'd shoot you twice.
Well, I mean, as long as you let me wear the cow costume, we're fine. All right, anywho.
And people think that I have a drinking problem.
That's not a problem for you. Everybody else, maybe. Anyway.
All right.
We're going to resurrect a segment that we used to do in the episodic Pro Wrestling Throwdown, which is the What If segment. I covered at one point what if Scott Steiner won the WWF Championship back in '93. I did a lot of work on that. It went over really well. Caleb has done several what ifs.
Yes.
As we've went along.
I'll do another one next week.
I
realized the one that I did we've already done. I just fleshed it out more, so now I have to rearrange. I have to pick a new one.
So, settle in. I'm going to read through this, and then we'll answer questions afterwards. There's a lot for me to get to, so here we go.
Here we go.
WCW in 2001 was bought by Vince McMahon. There was plans
for a sixth of the... Never mind.
For a sixth of what he paid for
Yep.
other services. They were going to resurrect the brand with a pay-per-view called WCW Big Bang. Was to be held at the time, newly built Hard Rock Cafe in Las Vegas, Nevada. Would have been 3,000 square feet building. It would have seat 2,500 seats, which roughly would be how much?
$287,500 gate.
And that's just at the door.
If the price tickets match what ECW One Night Stand would have done 4 years later, then that would be the similar price tier that we calculated.
I have went through contracts, money, people who were available at the time, people who would have been available at the time, and I have built the Big Bang card.
All right, lay it on us.
The pre-show would have been as follows. Team Canada, which I would have think they would have joined Hugh Morris with Lance Storm to defend the WCW tag titles against the Natural Born Thrillers.
Which was Sean O'Hare and Chuck
Palumbo.
Okay.
With Team Canada retaining the tag team championships.
You think so?
Yes.
You wouldn't have put them on the Thrillers, knowing that they'd be transitioning them to Raw or SmackDown as a bigger, more aesthetically pleasing.
Because we weren't going to have Raw anymore. WCW was going to take over the
Monday night spot, and then WWE's going to take over SmackDown.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Now, we're going to get into the main card. The commentators that were reached out to and were tapped for this show was
hold on. Before you do it, let me guess.
Okay.
Shivani's got to be on the list.
No.
Really?
Nope.
For a WCW show, they didn't reach out to Shivani.
Nope.
What about Tenay?
Nope.
If they didn't ask Tanea, they didn't ask Giovanni, they didn't ask anybody from WCW.
No, it's Vince McMahon's WCW.
Okay, so Joey Styles?
Joey Styles would have been 1.
Lawler?
Lawler would have been 2.
Wait.
They would have had a 3-man booth. Was Heenan?
Wrestling Throwdown.
I would have loved it.
Was Heenan still alive in 01?
No.
Okay.
Yes, but no, it wasn't him.
Okay, hold on. Lawler, Styles. Part of me wants to say... Well, they wouldn't use Jim Ross.
No.
Cornette?
No.
Then I have no idea.
The third man they tapped was Don Callis.
Why?
Because ECW had just folded and they own the property of ECW.
Osiris.
Exactly.
Gotcha, okay.
All right,
That makes
opening
sense.
match would have been a 3-way tag team contest,
Okay.
which would have been AJ Styles and Air Paris
Yeah, what were they called? Air Raid or whatever.
Air
it was.
Raid.
Yeah.
versus Kid Cash and Jason Jett. Jason Jett was known as Chris Chetty
Yeah.
from ECW versus the Young Dragons,
Ooh.
with AJ Styles and Air Paris picking up the victory.
Okay.
Reason you do that is then you have cruiserweight tag team titles that were on the card. You would have been able to put AJ Styles and Air Paris against Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman.
And feature the Monday night
Correct.
series around the young high-flying tag team.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Now, we go into the second match, which would have been a impromptu match. Ernest the Cat Miller comes out, cuts a promo, talking about how somebody better call his mama, blah, blah, blah. Answered by Steve Corino.
Ooh, I like that.
Steve
Yes,
Corino.
I saw.
Steve Corino versus Ernest the Cat Miller. Of course, Steve Corino going over because he was the bigger top down.
Yeah.
Match 3 on the card. We would have had a 4-way number 1 contendership match for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Okay.
Elix Skipper versus Chavo Guerrero versus Romero, if you remember Romero, versus the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels.
Was Daniels contract for
In WCW at the time,
Okay.
yes.
Skipper.
Elix Skipper would have won the match
I can
to
see
challenge champion. Now, we're going to get into a mini tournament to determine who challenges the WCW Heavyweight Champion at the end of the night.
Okay.
We have, in the first round, Scott Steiner
Okay.
wrestling the newly acquired debut of Rob Van Dam.
Because he would have had the layer from ECW.
Exactly.
I wouldn't hate that pairing. It'd be a unique match.
Rob Van Dam goes over Scott Steiner clean.
No fucking way in hell does Scott
Hold
allow
on.
that to happen.
Hold on. Scott Steiner then beats down Rob Van Dam after the match.
Okay.
To which Sting makes his debut in the new WCW because he was always a WCW guy, and if the money was right, he would have done it.
Okay.
Attack
Thanks,
Scott,
buddy. Love you too.
Attack Scott Steiner.
Okay.
Okay? So, Rob Van Dam advances.
Okay.
Another one that they would have put the money in, even though they didn't, because
Another
it
one.
never happened. Goldberg takes on the chosen one, Jeff Jarrett. Of course, no surprise here. Goldberg over.
As one final fuck you to Jarrett.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. We'll move on to the Cruiserweight title match, which would have seen Shane Helms, Sugar Shane Helms, defending the WCW Cruiserweight Championship against Elix Skipper. Of course, we would have seen Elix Skipper win the Cruiserweight Championship, being that Shane Helms would have fit better with the Jacked crew, which he did when he first joined WWF at the time. He was on Jacked. He dropped the title immediately to X-Pac when they unified
Yeah.
the two titles. Well, there's no unification needed because
Right.
this is a WCW pay-per-view.
You know, it's crazy, just based on that alone, if they hire Elix Skipper, they probably never hire Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
Just because of their rule of parallel aesthetics. And because of their similar athletic ability. I don't know.
Now, we go into match 7 of a 9-match card.
Okay.
Okay? We have Goldberg wrestling an injured Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam has the upper hand on Goldberg. Everyone's freaking out, thinking, holy shit. Rob Van Dam's going to beat Goldberg when out of nowhere Sean O'Haire shows up,
John O'Hare.
takes out Rob Van Dam, causing the win for Goldberg.
Okay.
We have a stare down between Sean O'Haire and Goldberg.
Okay.
Of course, a powder. Of
Yeah.
course. Because
Yeah,
you need to
clearly,
set up your
clearly.
next biggest guy to take on Goldberg.
Goldberg, right.
Regardless. Goldberg wins the number 1 contendership. Now, match 8, we have in the back Mike Sanders. Anyone remember Mike Sanders? He was the mouthpiece for the New Blood.
Okay.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
He
I
went to
think so,
ECW for a little bit. Above average Mike Sanders.
Yeah, he was a writer for the WWE
Yes.
in like 2003.
Comes out, starts talking trash about how just because WCW folded, the New Blood is still the New Blood. Blah, 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 blah. Correct? Okay. Out comes the only member of the Millionaires Club that has not been represented, other than, of course, Kevin Nash. Diamond Dallas Page.
Okay.
Diamond Dallas Page says, I thought I ended this shit in WCW. Evidently, I haven't. We have an impromptu match where Diamond Dallas Page beats Mike Sanders, and they fuck Mike Sanders off.
Okay.
But he was still under contract for at least 4 more months
Right.
with WCW.
Okay.
Okay? With that, we go into our main event of Bill Goldberg challenging Booker T for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, which, as of course, is won by Bill Goldberg. That way you set up Bill Goldberg and Sean O'Hare
Yeah.
and Rob Van Dam to move forward in the Triple Threat storyline, and you built from there.
That's really good.
Goldberg, now, as a lot of people know, had time left on his contract through Time Warner. Vince McMahon wanting to build a new WCW brand, if it wasn't fucked up by Booker T and Buff Bagwell, would have paid whatever
Is that why you
Goldberg
deliberately
wanted.
left Bagwell off the card?
Correct.
Okay.
Would have given him what he wanted to be on the show. Same thing with Sting. Same thing with a lot of these names. A lot of these names were still under contract at the time of closure, and several of them opted out.
Yeah.
I also left Billy Kidman
Yeah.
and Rey Mysterio off the list because the Cruiserweight Tag Team titles would have been absolved eventually.
Yeah.
Because you don't need them in the WWE because it was the World Tag Team Champions and not the World Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. See what I'm saying? Team Canada already had the WCW Tag Team Championships. It would have eventually been dissolved.
Yeah.
That's my card. I went through, like I said, I went through contracts. I went through who was available, who wasn't available. Jeff Jarrett would have still, in my opinion, ended up creating TNA due to the fuck you from the Bill Goldberg.
Yeah.
Right?
That's where a number of the displaced cruiserweights end up going anyway.
Yes.
With the exception of, now they don't have Elix Skipper and they don't have Christopher Daniels.
Or AJ Styles.
But if they don't get Elix Skipper, then they hire Shelton Benjamin.
Yes.
And if they hire Shelton Benjamin, they probably get Charlie Haas as a tandem tag team, and that 6 sides of steel tag match.
I think Shelton Benjamin still would have been called up from OVW due to the fact that they still get Brock Lesnar in 2002.
They do, but they didn't bring. But Shelton could have left. What I'm saying is, if they already pull over Skipper, then because of the aesthetic rule that Vince had,
thank you, Wolfie,
he doesn't call Shelton up. No. But the other interesting parallel to that is that Shelton and Haas end up in TNA, and that 6 sides of steel match isn't Triple X and AMW. It's AMW and World's Greatest Tag Team.
Yes.
How did you just make TNA better by keeping WCW alive?
Because it would have been better. Because it would have been better if WCW stayed alive.
Okay.
And you brought up Double J.
Yes.
Did we address that earlier?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
So, all of this, I wrote it out. I spent the last, 2 weeks we've been going?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Going through different things, building several different things. It makes sense.
Yeah, I love it.
It totally makes sense.
I applaud your work, sir.
It would have been a damn good card,
Yep.
and we all know 9 matches on AEW would have ran 12 hours when Vince could have done it in 3.
Yeah.
And you have every top name and some not so top names through the show.
I think that's great.
You had your nobodies that would be beaten up,
Yeah.
and you had your talent that you were going to push, like you push AJ Styles in Paris.
Yeah.
You push Elix Skipper. You push Rob Van Dam at the time wasn't the Rob Van Dam that he became in WWE.
Right.
John brought up
Steve
a good
Corino.
point.
What do we got?
Kind of makes me wonder if they signed Skipper and put him with Benjamin, what kind of tag team that would have been. See, they would have deliberately avoided that just because of their parallels. They wouldn't have wanted them because, well, they've done that before though, because they did that with the Major Brothers.
Take that out and pretend they did. What kind of tag team?
They probably would have been one of the best, most athletic tag teams.
They would have been what the Usos are now.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
except they'd have been what the Usos are now 10 years earlier.
While we have started this, anyone else that's in the chat right now, if you have questions towards what I've done, or questions as of towards what would have happened afterwards, please shoot them right now in the chat. We'll continue to keep the ball rolling.
While you guys think of some questions regarding his card, don't forget to find us at facebook.com/ProWrestlingThrowdown. Follow us on Twitter at ProWrestlingTD and send us an email at ProWrestlingThrowdown@gmail.com. You can follow us on TikTok at ProWrestlingThrowdown1. And right now, you can check out our proxy site, streamlabs.com/ProWrestlingThrowdown, and visit our merch store. So make sure to show the merch. Check out the stuff. We're starting the new raffle. We've got... we're going to run this one until the end of August. Excuse me.
Got that frog in his throat.
Yeah.
There's all that cow milk.
Yeah. Oh, shit. We're going to run this one to the end of August this time, so probably the last Sunday in August is when we'll do that drawing.
Be sure to donate, leave your name. Also, like I said, for every $1 that you donate, it
gets
is
you
an entry.
another drop in the bucket.
Yes.
Why am I stuttering on myself?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That is the reason why.
You sure?
Pretty sure.
Is that moo fuck?
All right.
That's the good milk. All right, what we got here?
If anyone wants to start a wrestling podcast, let me know, because we're going to get kicked off here.
No, we ain't. We fund our own shit.
I agree.
The world greatest tag team wasn't used properly. I mean, Haas and Benjamin were awesome. Yes, well, when you think about the fact that Charlie Haas wasn't the original member and that it was his brother who passed.
Yep.
Charlie Haas was brought in by proxy because Russ died. Charlie Haas never wanted to be a professional wrestler.
But
he was an amateur.
But he did it in Russ's memory.
But in Russ's memory, that's why always when he had his wrist tape on, he had the name Russ.
Which is crazy because he immediately took with Don Marie. And that was a hell of a pairing to put them on TV together. The early days of SmackDown.
Did you see what I said, Luke?
Oh, he had a very nice thing to say about you up here. Actually, I will scroll through on my phone and find it.
Okay.
He said, but also thank you, Luke, for being not just my friend, but brother for many years. And to Sam, I say thank you guys for making me look good, even though I didn't.
Well, you're welcome.
And you certainly
No, we love you, brother.
Yeah, we do. I give you shit, but you're awful.
Hey, you really are awful. But we love you.
Just teasing.
But we love you.
I'm just teasing.
But
You take a hell of a bump, we'll give you that.
Remember that time Blake killed you?
twice.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Pepperidge Farm.
I killed him.
So, all right, like I said, we're going to take 5 questions.
5 of them.
5.
And it doesn't have to be about his card. It can be about anything you want to know about.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it open-ended. So the next 5 questions that pop up in the chat are the 5 questions we're going to answer.
And then we out, fools.
We out until next week. Until we return next Sunday at 2:15.
That's right. Do we do the sexy eyebrow for the rest of the remaining of the show? So my face might cramp up.
I can't even see what I'm doing because I took my glasses off.
That's because you're old. Not as old as me, but you're old.
That's not even nice.
He's not old with his lights off.
Well, they always said it'd catch up to me eventually.
See what happens when you take me out on a Friday night for my birthday? Jesus. Driving home was a bitch.
Not for me.
Any questions at all? Come on, guys.
They may still be lagging.
Yes, there is a lag. Also, remember that if we haven't got to you or something like that, or something that you asked earlier and we missed.
We'll leave it open-ended until about 10 after. And
yes.
We'll call it if we don't get any questions by then. Here we
10
go.
after, it's 4:15.
10 after on the clock.
On the clock up top. The live stream.
Oh.
Let's see.
I can't see that on my phone.
The Bundy 5 count. Yes, it was the Bundy 5 count. See, that's one question. I'm counting it. I'm fucking taking it.
No. What the hell's the Bundy 5 count?
You know, 1, 2, 3, and Bundy would yell 5. So the referee would have to count 4, 5. Big E used
That's
it in
right.
NXT.
Yeah. King Kong Bundy. For some reason, I was thinking Al Bundy, and it didn't make any sense in my
Al
head.
Bundy and King Kong Bundy were in an episode of Married with Children together. Wrestling episode. His Grandmaster B ended up wanting a cool outfit and was in a Bumblebee outfit. You remember what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, love that episode. It was when No Man went to the wrestling thing. Also,
Nash Man.
Also the Glamazon before Beth Phoenix was Matilda the Hun from Glow.
Glow, yeah.
She was also in that episode.
I think you're right.
I was right.
Yeah.
She was also on Double Dare.
I never watched them.
And What Would You Do?
Double Dare was
The original What Would You Do, not the crazy one now. All right, folks.
You got 9 minutes, and then we're calling it.
Yep.
We'll give them the benefit for the 9 minutes.
I tell you
We
what,
can
Caleb,
bet for 9 minutes.
while we're waiting
Yeah,
for questions,
sure.
you got some stuff outside of the realm of pro wrestling throwdown to talk about. Show your shit. Dude.
So I'm currently playing
Great No
Archdeacon
Smoke.
Claude Frollo in the Skyline Freak productions of Hunchback of Notre Dame. Come check that out. The show dates are, I have to pull them up because I can never remember.
August 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Thank you very much. August 12th, 13th, and 14th. I also may, depending on how tomorrow goes.
Oh, wait a minute. Ghostly, if you could get rid of anyone off the WWE roster and AEW roster, who would you let go?
If I could fire anyone. Of my own
Well,
volition.
hold on. Uncool of me. Finish your shill first, and then we'll answer the questions.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
And then depending on how tomorrow goes, I may be booking another show that we'll announce if I get the part.
I'm super
But
excited.
come check out Hunchback of Notre Dame if you're in the area. I play Claude Frollo. It's one of my absolute favorite parts.
You can get your
One of my favorite
tickets now at MarionCC.com.
Yep, you can check out MarionCC.com, or you can buy them live at the box office Monday through Friday, or you can buy them at the door. That being said,
He's a
John
great
will
actor.
get you
You should go and
next.
see the show.
thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
All right, if you could get rid of anyone off the WWE roster and the AEW roster, who would I let go?
Okay, hold on just a second. Max, we'll let you have this first.
Who would you fire?
Who would you get rid of? One off each show. It's a tough question.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to.
It's a good question.
That's a great question.
They're from the WWE. There's a few that I would honestly. Liv Morgan is on the top
What
of
a
my list of
mistake.
people to.
What a mistake.
This is personal preference.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Personal preference.
I agree.
That's not to say she's not good. She's just I don't know. I don't know that I would let her go per se. It's hard to say. There's
Yeah.
a lot. They have. It's not a thing against the women in any way, but a lot of the divas in the WWE,
Yeah.
not all of them, but a lot of them
Still need work.
need some screws
That's-
to be
yeah.
tightened up pretty good. On the men's side, they're really just not
No.
utilizing a whole lot.
No,
of
no.
people.
One from WWE, one from
Right.
AEW.
I'm just trying to think. I can't think of anybody specifically that I would say let him go.
Yeah.
And on AEW wise, I don't get to watch enough AEW
Sure. That's fair.
Understood.
Yeah.
to say.
Okay. Caleb? Fair point. Fair point.
Getting rid of the people in WWE right now is tough just because the roster's already so small. If I had to fire anybody,
Right.
I mean, he's not even featured that much anymore, but maybe Jinder Mahal? Just to clear up that space, to put somebody else there?
I don't know. He's been
he's
working.
and he's a damn good buffer for
right
THRU.
now, and those two with the New Day are. I'm starting to kind of dig it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's entertaining. It's bullshit, but it's funny.
But it's funny to
entertaining.
yeah. Honestly, if I had to get rid of anyone from AEW, a lot of people will like this answer, but Evil Luna. I just don't see the contribution. I'm not a fan. I know he's part of the Dark Order and people love that gimmick, and that's me like buying past Orange Cassidy and Danhausen.
Right.
So,
Well, Danhausen makes a lot of money for the company.
yes, he do, and so does Orange Cassidy,
Yes.
which is why they're staying.
If I had to choose, WWE, Ridge Holland. You've
He's
proven,
so
yeah,
unsafe. Yeah.
you've proven yourself unsafe.
Yeah. So unsafe.
As far as AEW, it's also going to be a very unpopular opinion, but I can't stand Sammy Guevara.
However, Butch is starting
That's
to
fair.
grow on me.
Butch is, Pete Dunne has been
First
great
of all,
for
you put
years.
some respect on Pete Dunne's name.
Well, I mean,
Sir.
the character, why?
Sir.
That's all starting to go with me a little bit there.
Second question.
It's for Luke. When did you win your first title and in what promotion?
I won the Attitude Championship Wrestling Championship in 1998
There you go.
in Evansville, Indiana.
Do you think Paige will go to AEW? No.
Well, here's the deal. There is rumors that she has already inked paper.
I think that she will go to WoW to continue a future storyline with AJ.
I would be shocked if she doesn't show up in AEW.
Were I Paige, that's the choice that I would make.
Yeah,
so that's what I would say personally.
yeah.
No,
Could she absolutely show up in AEW? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I do have somebody
Okay.
in mind for WWE, and you're probably not gonna like it.
Okay.
Shotzi Blackheart.
No,
that's
I'm totally
fair.
in agreement.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
She
didn't even come to mind. That's how it shows
Yeah.
that she doesn't register
not-
for me.
yeah, that-
Also, another one from WWE that could be released, and no hard feelings or nothing, but they underutilized Ricochet. He has no business being in the WWE. Send him somewhere where he can work.
Aaliyah needs to go back and do a lot.
Am I
more.
wrong? He's on
No,
main
you're right.
event. He
You're
was
right.
Intercontinental Champion, and now he's on main event every week.
I mean, if I could just release Shinsuke so he could go to Japan and be awesome again,
Robert Roode.
that'd be the answer. Robert Roode, but I would release them on the grounds that I know that they could go someplace else and be stars.
Well, see, but they didn't specify that. They
Right.
just said if we could get
Right.
rid of anyone.
Right. All right.
Question two goes
Paige,
to
we already
John.
answered that one. We already answered that one and that one, so we got two more.
Oh, are you?
Two
Two more questions.
Then we out of here. First two come to mind. Come on, baby. Give us a good one. Give us a real good one.
Give it to us.
WWE,
Check
AEW.
it out. Yeah.
Oh, that's his picks for who he would let go. Letting go of Dante Martin's a mistake.
Correct.
Letting go of Austin Theory's a mistake.
For now.
Unless he turns out to be a fuck and firing.
I say put him on the back burner.
Oh, thank you so much, Bethany. Hope to see you
Very
there.
nice.
Two more.
I say put him on the back burner.
Yeah.
Come on.
Don't
two more.
release him. Just put him back.
Ask two more questions. Come on, y'all.
We're also on a lag, too, so
Yeah, that's fair.
we're probably just answering the last question.
Probably. I'm just going to sit here in silence.
Well, they're going to see this part of this before we get to the next question, so reason we're taking so long, it's the lag.
It's all the lag, baby.
Is that all you have coming up?
For now, yeah. We just closed Laramie, so that's the only show I'm in until possibly tomorrow.
If you're in
Or
the
Tuesday, rather.
If you're in the Southern Illinois area and you need a good DJ karaoke show, contact me at James Williams on Facebook.
He's a guy.
Cheap, affordable,
Very
a
cheap.
good time had by all.
A hell of a time. One of the greatest DJs around. One of the absolute best that I know.
And we'll
But
probably
I'm part
show
of
up and
the
party with
show,
you, too.
So, you know,
Yeah, come out, drink a few with Pro Wrestling Throwdown.
Sign a few.
Oh, I could drink a few. I drank a few. I'm surprised I'm not drinking a few right now.
Friday night, I drank quite a few.
We drank definitely a few.
All right, well,
Come on, y'all. We got two more questions or I'm closing this up in a minute. Come on now. Come on.
Well, if they don't have one, can I ask one?
Sure.
sure.
This will cover a little bit. I was going to save this for a different time, but I think you guys really enjoy talking about it. What if Andre the Giant never had health problems?
Wow.
Well, there are essentially two schools of thought there. Because even barring his health problems, what more could you do with Andre in the realm of the WWE after the expansion in the 80s? Hulk Hogan's already beaten him. You could keep him as a buffer for a little while.
Would Hogan have
Would Hogan have beaten him without the health problems?
Yes.
Or would Andre...
Hogan winning was the linchpin of
Because
WrestleMania.
Andre would have been able to do more.
I agree, but Hogan winning was the
here we
linchpin
go,
of
more
WrestleMania's
questions.
success.
What do you think of 1.5, The Kid in the Dark Order? I think it's great. That would be Brody's boy.
Look, here's the deal. I think that it's super cool that Khan keeps the kid and pays him. I think that's incredible. I think that it's awesome that it's tailored to, how well he does in school and his family and everything. I think that's amazing. Can I get behind the idea that there's a kid who leads a faction on a wrestling show? No, but that's my personal preference. I think it's awesome that he's still there. And I think it's incredible of Tony Khan to be so accommodating to the family, especially considering he only worked with John Huber a little while, and still offers that much respect. I mean, that just shows that Tony Khan is all class.
As far as the Andre situation, I think that there could have been a lot to do with Andre, but it would have all had to been substantial. Due to the fact that the Princess Bride in the movie roles, I think he would have taken a powder like Cena and The Rock took, and he would have been more of an attraction wrestler.
However, there is something to be said that if he stays healthy just long enough to come across the Giant in WCW in '94, they could have drawn a couple of big houses if they booked it right and spaced it apart. But other than that, you'd get a lot of recycled matches. You'd have a rematch with Hogan probably at the following Royal Rumble or Survivor Series. WrestleMania 5, though, maybe that ends up Ultimate Warrior and Andre instead of Hogan. So that's something to consider.
Also true.
But I think it's a lot of the rehash of matches. I think that if he stays healthy, the big match, the big payoff that you'd see after Hogan would absolutely be the Giant WCW, which everyone would have bought just to watch the two Giants tear each other.
I'm not on with you there. I think he would have went the Hollywood route.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But so did Piper, and he was pulling double time.
Yeah.
But think about that. Andre leaves the WWE, dubs the
It
movies.
would have gotten to the point that he would have had more opportunity.
Yeah.
In the Hollywood area rather than in the wrestling scene, and I think he would have.
But then consider
he would have been like The Rock.
But then consider when the Giant makes his WCW debut and he's tearing it up, and Andre's not in wrestling, then you have the attraction for Andre to come out of retirement with all the pomp and circumstance about the movies and the fact that he's a megastar to wrestle the other Giant.
Yeah,
which actually builds itself even better.
Yeah, for real.
All right.
Last question.
Hold on. John says, Caleb, I want to say my favorite match of yours is you versus Brandon Wolf in the SIU. Thank you very much. We worked very hard. All right, last question. You just took over AEW, and you can take anyone you want from the WWE. Who are your 5 choices? So if I'm booking AEW...
So 5 people from the WWE that
to
you
go
would
to
send
AEW that I would take.
What do you think,
That's
Max?
a damn good question.
If you take 5... Anyone from WWE, 5
no
superstars.
argument. Like you get to handpick your 5.
Argument.
But they have to fit in with the... I don't think Roman fits the AEW mold.
No.
Neither does Brock, neither does Bobby.
Yeah, I wouldn't take the big names. Ish.
Well, I can tell you who my 5 would be right off the bat.
Immediately, what comes to mind, who comes first to mind would be AJ Styles.
Yep.
Go ahead and yank Shelton Benjamin while you're at it.
For God's sake, please give him a singles run.
Yep.
Yes.
Just for me. Just do it for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe Shinsuke.
That's
I think would be a good one.
It would be a good show. Or a good choice.
And I'm sorry, but the Usos.
I mean,
Both
if you
of
could pick,
Fucking
yeah.
both of them.
If you're building the greatest tag team division in the world, that's obviously part of the conversation.
So that's
Besides, the Usos and the Bucks, money. Usos and FTR,
money.
No, pick up 3 great singles competitors.
Usos
and a fantastic tag team.
Usos and Private Party,
Yeah.
money. Go ahead, you're 5.
My 5. Well, 2 of them would be the Usos.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying.
100%.
You can't build the best tag team division in the world without Usos.
Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
100%. AJ Styles.
Yep.
100%. Where I would stray from the other 2 is 1.
The other one.
Usos count. We'll count the tag team as 1, just for the benefit of
another
conversation.
pick.
Okay, we'll pick.
Then my other pick would be right off the throttle. Who's got it right now? Sami Zayn would be really fucking interesting.
That's not a bad pick.
That's not a bad pick at all. Like what I say, Usos, AJ, Shelton Benjamin.
Shinsuke.
I didn't say Shinsuke, he did.
Okay.
Shelton Benjamin, the
AJ.
Usos, AJ.
Okay.
The other 2 I would stray off the beaten path for.
Sure.
Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
And my number 1, just because I think he would be great with everyone in the top tier, fucking Edge.
You would break up the New Day.
For sure.
Bet your ass I would.
My number 1 pick immediately is Edge because Christian and both the Hardys are already in AEW.
Yes.
So I get to recreate that immediately.
Ooh,
Also,
I
you got
didn't
the
think about
Bucks.
that.
Yeah. Also got the Bucks. There's a lot you can do with heel Edge.
I would trade Shinsuke for Edge.
Yeah. Edge immediately. Sasha Banks.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Point blank.
Even though I bet she's on her way. By the way, we failed to mention that. She's
the
now
official
doing
release, yeah.
post-WWE things as her real name.
Yeah.
Which means, guess what, gentlemen? She has been officially
She's
released.
done.
$30,000 an appearance.
Which she'll get because of the Disney tag alone. Mm-hmm. So, Edge, Sasha Banks.
2.
Walter.
3.
Because he would be a legitimate heel and he can work in that landscape.
Him and Rusev would be great.
Yup.
Miro, whatever.
Yeah, Miro. Fuck, I mean, you gotta say the Usos if we're gonna count them as one.
Yeah.
Just again for the best tag team benefit. And then Dolph Ziggler to bring in another heel with that same work rate.
Him versus Adam Page would be great.
Him versus Kenny Omega. Dolph Ziggler versus Kenny Omega. Take my motherfucking money.
All day, every day.
Day. All right, y'all.
Caleb's already seen it, John.
Yes, I did. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're glad to be back. We'll see you all next Sunday. Don't forget to find us over at facebook.com/ProWrestlingThrowdown. Follow us on Twitter at ProWrestlingTV. Send us an email at ProWrestlingThrowdown@gmail.com. Follow us on TikTok at ProWrestlingThrowdown1. Make sure while the website's down, you check out streamlabs.com/ProWrestlingThrowdown and visit our merch store. And from us to you.
Hold on. Don't forget to get in the contest. You're going to win some free shit. Well, not free. It'll cost you $1, but...
From us to you, as always,
Don't drink
keep it in the ring.
Don't, what? What'd he say?
Don't drink cow milk.
Definitely not moo moo fuck milk. Keep it in the ring.
Please, for God's sake, keep it in the ring.
Keep it in the ring.
And nowhere else.
And nowhere in Beaumont, Texas.
I hate my life.